Hypocrisy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Lawsplaining the Interwebs. I'm your host, Nick Ricada of Ricada Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. With me, returning to the show after a long absence. What's up, Sean?
Hey, how you doing? It's been a little while. Just a little while.
Yeah, we must have been beefing, which is what usually happens.
Yes.
I was actually mad at you for a really long time because you called me I don't know. I don't even know what you would have called me. What's the worst thing that you could possibly call me?
Justin Trudeau. I don't know.
It's pretty bad.
The most valued member of the farms.
Oh, there we go. The farms are having some trouble right now.
Well, they're back.
Oh, are they back?
Yep.
Okay. I wasn't
Null
sure.
got his server or whatever the thing he needed.
Okay, because
it makes me happy because it was a long fucking week.
It sounded grim last I heard, and I was like, oh wait, well, I mean, what do you do, right? Like, I don't know how to fix anything. Yeah. So
no.
Well, there we go. Glad
back
to
back on the menu, boys. Shit posting.
Oh, great, good. I was worried that people were going to stop coming up with interesting stories about my life, but now I don't have to.
Well, I was gonna say, shit. I'm the. Who do you think keeps that thread going?
It's just you, Sean, with 27 accounts. Like, I got him. Well, good to see you, man. Thanks for joining. And new to this, I don't know. Have I ever had you on, Lofty?
No, no. I never asked either. I was like, gosh,
no,
he's my buddy, but I don't like asking to go on streams. But no,
well, it's always weird, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Well, welcome. I'm glad to. I haven't seen you since you got summarily executed on Flashcast.
Yeah, I got canceled. Yeah, cancel culture is real. I
think like Flash is just allergic to bad takes, and he took some Zyrtec, and you just couldn't come back. I'm just kidding, man. Dude, I always have fun streaming with you, so I was glad you were able to come on today. We have a couple other people who may be joining us. I assume they will be joining us at some point in time. Dick Masterson will be on when he can. Cecil will be on, he said, I don't know, after he gets home and gets drunk, I think. So that'll be exciting. And then Drex says he's got like 8 things to do, and it involves eating. So I'm not banking on Drexel showing up, but he may do that. But anyway, so we've got some topics and shit that are going on in the world, but mostly these are Friday streams. No Camelot tonight. I'm really pissed off at Camelot, actually. I'm legit angry. I messaged him today. I'm like, hey man, you coming on the show tonight, right? And he's like, well, I'm driving because I have a race tomorrow.
Oh, he didn't pull a Dale Earnhardt tonight, did he?
No, I hope he does not do that, because that's really awful. You know what would happen? It'd be like, oh shit.
You should pull a Bubba Wallace instead.
No, the only wall Camelot belongs on is the one that accepts the gays. But no, he's got a race tomorrow, so he's not going to be on tonight. He's going to be driving all night. I'm going to send him the link just to taunt him into that. But yeah, I mean, so Fridays, for people who don't know, or for the people who do know but still bitch in the comments about it, Fridays are just kind of laid back, very chill. We'll probably discuss some stories that have been going on in the world, but mostly it's like a vehicle for jokes and liquor and just kind of hanging out with friends, because you go through a whole week.
Yeah.
And the week sucks for a lot of people because you're working, you're dealing with fucking bullshit all the time. And it's like, this is like cracking a cold one open with the boys, which is a euphemism for sex with a dead person, but an orgy with the dead person.
Yep. That's great. That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
I highly recommend everybody check out Bibawen on Twitter. He does these cool every Friday, he's like, what's on for the weekend? And he puts these really cool, like, chill vibe memes together, or video edits. They're really good. Do you know Bibawen?
No, but I thought you were gonna say I really recommend people try an orgy with dead people. Like it was the
Oh
follow
no,
up
no,
to what I said, and it was
I
very
was thinking
uncomfortable
about-
for just a second.
I was thinking about what you were saying about Fridays being kind of just a wind down, you know.
Yeah.
And his videos come across. People in chat know what I'm talking about if they follow the guy. He's really good. But yeah, Fridays are fun. For me though, not really. I work off and on. I have the weirdest schedule. I don't know. I don't have weekday thing because I'm a freelance thing. I do free. I don't like doing freelance. I liked working 9 to 5s. To be honest, it was more relaxing.
Yeah, it sometimes is nice having someone just like tell you your schedule.
Exactly. And then you know what? Don't talk to me after 5 p.m. every day. That's it's very relaxing.
Right. Yeah, no, I get it. Someone said on the locals or Rumble chat was like worked all week, streams 3 days. Yeah. And I'm not talking about me.
Yeah.
I'm talking
Everybody
about everybody who goes through a shitty week of work. I didn't work 5 days. Well, shockingly, when you're a streamer or YouTuber or whatever the fuck our stupid titles are, you do work even when you're not streaming. Like you're doing a bunch of shit, but that's fine. It's more about the people out there who work a whole lot. So it's like just kicking back and chilling out and not trying to find an excuse to be mad at something in the world. Because that's what I feel like a lot of YouTube is these days. Like, well, have you seen this thing I need to complain about today? It's like, well, I mean, kind of. I don't always want to do that. Although I do have stuff to complain about today. Perhaps, I don't know if that's ironically, maybe it's hypocritically. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We're gonna do that.
Jordan Neely. Jordan Neely was charged today.
Who the fuck is Jordan Neely?
I'm sorry, the guy who killed him. The guy who killed him. What's his name?
Who the fuck is Jordan Neely?
The chokehold guy. The chokehold guy.
Sean, your mic is completely muted.
The subway snugglers, I call them.
So the subway
Daniel Penny.
Daniel Penny. Okay, yeah, I recognized the Daniel Penny name. I never watched that video.
I mean, he's got the guy like his arm is around him underneath his neck, and the guy's like moving around. It's not like he's not getting choked out by like fucking Jen's pulver or anything. Right. And then some other dude throws his arm, like has an arm lock on. I'm like, people are holding this guy down, and from my days in high school, trying to hold down other young strapping lads like myself, that were sweating. It's if people don't want to get held down, they don't get held down. So, the guy happens.
So he died. So was this a cop thing?
No. So Jordan Neely gets out of the train. He's like one of these bums that rides the subways and is all over the place in New York City. You don't get to go there. So like, 10 years ago, he dressed as Michael Jackson. But in the meantime, there's been videos of him just like shitting in the subway.
Ooh, that's what I would do.
Pushing people into this train.
That's not him. That's another guy.
Okay, well.
That's another crazy black guy. But yes, it's been happening.
Wait, I think I have a clip for this. Hold on. No, you can go ahead and keep talking while I find this.
There's a Reddit thread from like 10 years ago about people talking about him, how dangerous he was. This was 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah, no. Well, he's a schizophrenic guy.
Yep.
So anyways, he gets on the train and is like, takes off his sweater. Like he throws his sweater down. He's like, I ain't afraid to go back to jail. I ain't afraid to die. And people made it sound like, he was begging for food. No, he was like, I want food. I want this. I want that. And everybody on the train was like, everybody in the subway car was like, this is getting a little fucking out of hand.
Right.
And then at some point, our hero, the snuggler, comes up behind him and snuggles him.
Yeah.
Apparently snuggled a little too much, but that happens sometimes, when you love hard and you snuggle too much. But
I was going to ask, I guess Nick said he didn't watch it. So I guess I can't ask him, but as far as the law goes, I'm assuming you're not, to me, it's just, it's not self-defense because he was acting on behalf of probably the rest of the people.
You're allowed to defend a third party though.
Yeah. So, but the other issue is how long are you allowed to choke somebody? Like, is there?
He wasn't choking him though. I mean, because if he had choked him the fuck out, like you've seen UFC fights when the hold's in, that's it. So the guy was like for 15 minutes struggling around and fighting.
Yeah.
that's, you know, it's also at that point, even if you hold him down, you're like, okay, if I let you up, what's going to happen? Well, oh, I'm cool. No, that guy's probably not going to be cool. Like, so no,
Yeah.
that's
Someone sent me a thing from some like chud calling out
A chud.
yeah, it was like a channel that calls out chuds or whatever.
Was it
fucking
Chud Logic?
Actual fandom.
No, it was,
oh,
it was
actual,
called,
actual fandom called you out. Yeah, you guys are all part of the anti-fandom.
He called everybody out.
yeah, that guy called, wait, I was like, I
There's
I
a
don't
whole
like
video
any
about
of
you.
these things.
I
Yeah.
called him out and he blocked me. Dude,
Well,
I wanted so bad to go on.
Well, he's also friends with the organized chaos guy. He sounds a lot like this. Oh,
I went on his stream.
I saw the video of him and Eric Rip, but
Who
Yeah, he's
even-
an idiot.
Wait, so
he fucking. Oh God.
so this guy
he fucked
called
it.
he called me out or he called Lofty out?
No, he called you.
You're
listed as part of it.
What did I do? I don't even like half those properties.
You're part of the
Anti-fandom.
The web
Yeah.
that leads. What's that thing called? That lead the funnel that
pipeline.
leads to the pipeline. No,
I don't know.
I went on
The
his stream and I was like,
I
dude,
shit on Star Wars all the time, but not because I'm like I shit on the original
I
Star
know.
Wars. Like
I
a
know.
like a true
Yes.
Chad, a patrician consumer.
Yeah.
well, he was talking about gun rights after the trans shooting, and he was also talking about trans rights. And I went
Oh,
on his
I mean,
stream.
come on there, God.
Yeah, I was
Oh.
like, hey, I was in this chat. I was like, he was responding to me. I was like, hey, I'll come on right now and I'll explain to you why you're wrong
I'd
about.
fuck him so hard it'd be pornographic.
Wouldn't let. He told me
Oh,
to send
shit.
him an
That's a
email,
rape threat.
and I was like, I'm not
Oh,
going to send you an email. I'm right here.
I
I'm
didn't
just
say
gonna
anything
write
about consent, so we're not at the rape part yet, there, brother. Like I'm just saying.
I got accused of rape. Did you hear that? Of threatening to rape
Oh,
I-
God.
I can't, Nick. I don't want to comment on that because I'm listed and stuff.
oh, are you?
Was this an angry?
I'm listed in the
person?
complaint. Yes, I shouldn't comment
Yeah.
on that.
Well, you know what? Stop being so safe. God.
I try to maintain myself as that way I can
Don't
argue
you know
that-
how to get in trouble?
Apparently, I'm very hot. Hold on. I'm glad people are telling me I'm hot. Oh yeah.
That's
I
how we
think
gotta do
I,
it.
I think you're okay, but the film reels on the wall behind you are hot. Are those
Yeah.
film? What are those called? Film
Films.
strips. Film strips.
It's called Frome. They squish them down.
Yeah, they squish the whole movie down. If the chat doesn't know, they squish the whole movie
Yeah.
down into like single frames, and those are the things behind him on the wall.
Yeah.
They're really nice.
That is Hunt for Red October, and this is Heat.
I like trying to guess them, but they're almost impossible to guess.
Mhm.
Unless it's
Maybe you
like,
should
oh, I want to
Try harder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, some things are obvious, like the Matrix, very
A
green and
chunker,
blue colors.
yes. Okay, is
Yeah.
it still hot, guys?
Kill Bill is
Still
sounded
loud?
fine.
Jesus.
Kill Bill is a very easy one to notice because there's a giant chunk in the middle that's blue when he cuts to blue for
Yeah.
the crazy
found
88
it.
scene.
Mm-hmm.
I found it. It's from the Daily Chud.
The Daily Chud.
Daily Chud. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Okay,
so,
there.
Yeah. So I guess this is going to be about the. Well, I don't know. This isn't about necessarily about what was going on in the subway, but I think
Oh, Tommy Sotomayor is my man.
he's got some commentary.
Be on child support, put him in jail while she gets to collect motherfucking benefits from the government. Put a ban on that shit. Guarantee you see, as Donald Trump said, America will be great again. Man, nigga.
Jeez.
Mayor. This is T in the News. Roll.
I love Tommy. The BT 1000s.
And P.S. We have no idea where this is. It will take niggas to turn them in unless the white people turn them in. They're there. So here's the thing. Niggas won't turn each other in. What do you think would happen if a white boy did something like this and other white people wouldn't turn him in? What do you think those white people would be called? Well, every one of them would be called racist. They would be protecting the white man. They protecting those races. This is a hate crime. This should be looked at as a hate crime. It won't be, but if you change the situation and there was some white boys circling an older black woman and slap the shit out of her, we'd have Black Lives Matter movement. Barack Obama would be on TV giving a motherfucking speech. Yet right now, nobody knows where this happened, when this happened, or nobody gives a shit. Barack Obama won't say nothing about this.
This must have been a while
About
ago.
the little niggas that's
Well,
in
this is
his
old
city,
Tommy
Chicago,
stuff.
that's running
Yeah.
around fucking shit up. Nope. He won't
Also,
take guns.
am I
out
still
people's
hot
hands.
out there,
He
chat?
won't take motherfucking niggas out of the street.
I don't know what else to do.
Remove
on
niggas
that.
from the street.
You sound fine to
Guarantee
me.
you
Let me
America
check
be a
your
better
levels
place.
on here.
Every
I'm gonna
street
go
you
up.
move niggas out of, have
I
a
got
certain
you.
amount of
9,000,
niggas
Nick,
that
you
live
can't
in each
fix it.
city.
I fixed it. I fixed it.
Am I better now?
Watch that.
You turned up.
Sorry.
That was the worst
Go
thing
back
you
down.
could have done.
Go back down.
Okay, so anyway,
Yes.
He's right. I saw this video on YouTube about a bunch of people in Philadelphia. They were like, somebody was just murdered here 5 minutes ago. Please show up. They're like, who did it? And everybody there's like, I ain't snitching. I ain't gonna talk to you.
That's good. Don't fucking snitch.
I'm just saying he's
Don't be running
don't-
no gossip column out there, kids.
yeah.
this is the one I saw.
And oh god.
N words show up to fuck shit up. Go around whites, feel safe. Go around blacks. You know a binger is gonna rob you or fight you. He's got just a bunch of clips of Tommy
Holy
Sotomayor.
crap.
He just does not like him at all.
And have a kid by anybody.
Anyway,
Be on
yeah.
child.
Why do they go after people who don't give a shit?
I don't
Like,
know.
They're wasting their time.
I don't know. But it was I saw it and I was like, oh wow. I wonder
Yeah.
if he's canceled.
No
Uh,
way. That guy doesn't care.
Yeah. Anyways, it's refreshing to see someone just not give a shit. Love that guy. I never watched his stuff. I've always heard I should because it's hilarious. And the proof positive, of course, in that just that one clip we watched is fantastic.
It's beautiful. It's hilarious.
All right, let me hit some of these early chats, and then we'll kind of get into some of the stuff we're talking about. Cedar Rose with a member chat. Hey, what's up, Cedar? How you doing, elbows? Rackets, very important. Question, is Tennessee whiskey as smooth as Chris Stapleton claims? No. I need to know how smooth the lady he's singing about. Have you? Okay, look. Hold on. Dude, I'm going to tell you how smooth the lady he's singing about is by showing you a picture of Chris Stapleton. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased, but I'm guessing kind of rough. Like, but that's my, I don't know.
Yeah, I like the Richard Petty hat.
I don't know, man. I'm not with it.
Hmm.
I'm not with it. Oh God. Lofty walked away from the
Oh.
thing and his avatar is just sitting there. It's fucking creepy. It's like a puppet without a hand up its ass. I don't know what to do with it.
I like how the hair still moves every once in a while.
Yeah, it's like a Nintendo like pause.
Yeah, it's like on the pause
Character.
screen. Do.
Like when Battletoads and they would blink.
Yeah.
Like he's doing now.
Oh, that too,
fucking
yes.
creeping me out. Stop it.
The mouth move. What the fuck?
Yeah. Look, everybody. So I used to do these karaoke streams, and they're going to start again, maybe even tonight on locals. And everybody's like, "Sing Tennessee Whiskey" by Chris Stapleton, and I'm like, I've never heard this song. I haven't even
It's a
heard
really
of
good
this
song.
Well, at the time, I'd never heard it,
Mhm.
and they're like, "Oh, hi, sing it to Lady Rackets and she'll melt." And I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? So we're out somewhere and we hear this fucking song, Tennessee Whiskey, and I'm sitting there and she looks as bored as can possibly be. And I'm like, this song isn't doing it for you? And she's like, no, I don't care about this. It's like, you sure? Like, are you even a woman? Because apparently it's supposed to be just a lady slayer, but it's not. It's not. So I just want to point that out. Chris Stapleton, fuck you. I hate you and your stupid song there. Just in case you don't get it, Chris. I've never met you. I don't know you at all.
Speaking of whiskey, have you ever had Larceny whiskey?
Yeah. Yeah, I have.
Like
It's pretty good.
Is that a South Carolina thing? Because that's where I got it.
I mean, they have it in Minnesota,
Everywhere?
so I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I like it. It's
Yeah,
fine.
you should apologize. The fuck is wrong with you?
I apologize.
What am I drinking tonight?
I'm drinking a vodka orange juice cocktail with some
Is there any of
Malibu
this?
rum.
Oh shit!
That's all I had.
There was I didn't realize there was. It looked like there wasn't anything in this bottle, so I just turned it upside down.
You're gonna get wasted.
I
No,
guess
I normally mix Manhattans if I have time at my own house.
I am
but,
trying to not have you be gay. Like I'm trying so hard.
And
you showed
sometimes
up with
I'll occasionally have an old fashioned.
You show up
depending
with
on
a
the day.
VTuber avatar and talking about making Manhattans for yourself.
No, I can't stop drinking them. They're amazing.
Just can't stop sucking dick. I can't stop it.
Give me all the dick.
So I poured a little bit extra, I guess, because there's like 1.5 to 2 shots in there.
Oh,
so that's good. No, Cedar Rose. I'm not a big fan of like Tennessee like I like any whiskey that's good, but Tennessee whiskey as a rule is not particularly smooth. And remember, the most popular Tennessee whiskey on the planet is Jack Daniels, which is smooth like my asshole. So, which is definitely a rifled barrel, not smooth bore. Cassie B, Nick, can I get a toast? It's my 22nd birthday today. Happy birthday, Cassie B. A toast to you.
Happy birthday.
22 years, brimming with life and opportunity and anticipation. Enjoy it, spend it wisely, and use it to build something fucking great.
Happy birthday.
Ducky Tats and Art says, Rackets in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you, man. Looking forward to talking more about that project. Jim Satala says, what's up, Nick, Sean, and Lofty? And hopefully Mr. Masterson. Ask Sean about the case in Virginia in which the feds say that straw purchases are perfectly fine.
Yeah,
now,
that's
this
funny.
is the under 21 purchases, right?
Yeah, they're like, oh, parents could buy guns for their kids. I'm like, what? Like, why are we now? You know, I've seen these before, or I think it was, it's like during Kyle Rittenhouse's closing argument where they're like, he could just shoot in the air, and I love that because it's at that point, I think when the government starts throwing out these hypotheticals now as alternatives, they are actively encouraging people to do these actions. So therefore, I think people should be, that's a reliable, the government says
You should rely on the government's arguments.
Yes. And if they, especially at a trial or in a briefing that, well, you can buy a gun for a kid. Well, so that's a straw purchase. I could straw purchase for my, for your family, all you want. But it's funny because there was a case where a son, he's an adult son, an adult child, bought a gun for his dad.
Okay.
And the Supreme Court said, well, that was a straw purchase. You can't do that.
See, that's insane. I don't feel like a gift is a straw purchase.
Well,
right?
Generally a gift is not. But the government didn't say gift in every time. They said parents could purchase a firearm for their children.
Right.
So they didn't specify that was a gift. And I think that, remember, it's words matter, and they didn't use gift every time.
It's like a weird thing, though, because it's like if I buy a gift for my friend, like what distinguishes it as a gift between that and a straw purchase? Like if they're legally, assuming they're legally allowed to buy it.
Well, generally it's that you bought it, you paid for it with your own money. Like the case I was talking about, the reason why the guy.
Oh, you're saying like rather than being given money to make the purchase.
Yeah. Well, or like the case I'm talking about, it's called a United States v. Abramski. So like imagine it like this. You buy a gun for Lofty, and then Lofty writes you a check, and like a true boomer, he writes in the line for the gun you bought me and gives you a check for that much money later.
Yeah.
And they consider that a straw purchase. But even then it's like,
Yeah, but that might not see. And the interesting thing is thinking as defense attorneys, that might not be a straw purchase. Like you may not have expected any remuneration for your action, right? Like I bought this thing. And the guy's like, oh, I'm going to pay you back for that gun. You're like, I mean, I guess I just bought it for you. I don't care.
Yeah, but I'd like to make that argument, but I'm pretty sure that, you remember, you got to convince a jury of normies, and I don't think some normies are going to expect that.
I have a random question. Do you know, so you mentioned like writing on the check, spelling out.
That's why you don't use checks.
Yeah. But these apps like Venmo, where you have the option to go private with your
transactions,
money transfers.
Yeah.
Are the courts allowed to invade the privacy of the private transactions on those apps?
Yeah, absolutely.
But terrorism and my drug dealing, none of that shit is safe. That's why if you're doing stuff on Venmo, just say, hey man, because you're cool.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Rent money.
What's that paid for?
Bullshit.
It's $3,261.48. Completely random because you're awesome.
No, somebody's asking about drinking a Bud Light. No.
I got a Bud Light. Let me find it.
God damn it.
Shit.
Oh,
But yes, that's why if you do pay somebody, yeah, like I
you know
said,
what? Sean,
Yeah,
I
be
changed
careful.
my mind.
what?
Manhattan's a Bud Light.
He can go hang out with Dylan.
Look, you know what? Lofty? I'm
Dylan
on
Mulvaney.
team. I'm on
Uh-oh.
Team Flash. I'm
Oops.
on Team Flash now.
Oopsie daisy. Let me
I
just
was-
figure out how to open this can.
Yeah, just open your mouth wide enough to shove it in there. God, fucking damn.
Gotta do it harder, Lofty.
Frederick
Hey,
Little says,
don't I get any credit for having napalm behind me? Don't I have a little bit of credit?
no, because it just means you're flaming. It's worse.
Oh fuck. Never mind.
It's all sticky and flaming.
Frederick Little says, Nick, I hope Lady Ragged's, her mom, your mom, and the chat's mothers all have a wonderful Mother's Day this Sunday. God bless. Yes, I hope so too. And in honor of this stream, in which all of us are unemployed podcasters. Of course, the other people joining us will be unemployed podcasters. We are all broadcasting from our mom's basements. Yeah. And if your mom's homeless, your mom's basement is just her vagina, which means you're back in the womb. But that's where we all broadcast from. That's where everything happens for us losers out here. Yeah. And we'll get into that story in a little bit. That was the funniest thing I've seen. I think I saw that. It was either last night or today. So we're gonna talk about that. But yes, happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. And guys, make sure you hug and kiss your mother. Unless you're broadcasting from her vagina, go out of her vagina first, and then like give her a smooch, because that would be really incestuous if you kissed her inside the vagina. Don't do that. It's fucking weird of you guys. I don't know why, and you need to be told this, but yeah. Very good. Frederick Little has gifted a whole bunch of subscriptions, memberships on YouTube. Thank you so much, Frederick.
Thank you, Frederick.
David says, Ricada, you feel like a friend in my life that I have fucked up. I'm going to electrician trade school in a few months. I hope it works out. Thanks for being a dude and an escape. You're a true Chad in life. Cheers to you. Wait, I thought, okay, you're saying you fucked up your life. I thought you were saying you feel like a friend, comma, in my life, comma, that I have fucked up, like talking about me, like you'd fucked me up somehow. And I was like, I don't know what happened. Fine. I was very confused. No, man, you're going to electrician trade school. How can you say your life's fucked up? You're on the path towards something better. That's
good
always good.
Good luck. Can't wait for you
brother.
to, be an electrician.
Speaking of which, so I'm driving. I had to drive to the Twin Cities and back today, which is always fun. And it was like literally out and back. And I was gonna be driving alone, but the last minute, I was like, "Hey, Lady Ragged, you want to come with me?" Like, I think she had some scheduling stuff, and I'm like, "I think we can actually work it out where you could ride with me if you want. It's gonna be boring, but who cares?" And she's like, "Yeah." And so we're driving, and I had to stop and get gas. And it's the first time this has ever happened. Someone turned in, like they pulled in behind me as I'm turning into the gas station. I was like, what the fuck? It caught my attention. I looked at the person in my rear view. I was like, am I getting followed by a cop? And it was very awkward. Something about it. And I pulled up to the gas station. I'm in my Mustang. And the guy pulls up behind me, and I passed the first pump because it had a bag on it. So it wasn't working. And a guy like gets out of his truck and he looks at me and says, "Hey, Law Pope, you call that a Mustang?" And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And he's like, "You're Nick Ricada, right?" And I was like, holy shit, yeah. And so someone had actually recognized me on the road.
That's crazy.
And
That's
it was
wild.
Super nice. So big shout out to Zach. How's it going, man? Nice to see. I think he'll probably listen to this. He said he listens usually in the morning, so maybe he'll catch that tomorrow.
Yeah.
So cheers, brother. It was nice meeting you today.
Cool.
That's hilarious.
It's always weird when you meet someone in the wild, because you like, if you go to shake their hand, you never know if it's going to be like clean or have semen on it or something. Because you don't know.
You also don't know if they hate you and they're
That's-
feigning interest.
Well,
that's the
right.
risk of iDubbbz.
Yeah. Well, the first time I ever was seen in the wild was in 2019.
Wow.
And I was driving my family down to Texas. We were going down for, it was like I don't know if it was a family reunion or something, but I kept it really quiet. I didn't say that I was going to Texas because I was going, my cousin was getting married. That's what it was. I was going down for my cousin's wedding, We have the whole family in our van, and we stopped right across the Texas-Oklahoma border to get fried. Well, we got gas, and then I was like, "Have you kids have never had fried pies before, have you?" Like, no. And so we drive over this giant fried pies place. I was like, "We're gonna get some fried pies." And they took all their orders of what like filling they wanted. I go inside and I order, and I'm sitting there for 10 minutes while they fry these damn things. And the person calls my name, and so Nick, I go up and I get him, and I grab the bag, and she looks at me in the face. She goes, "I know you." Like, that's weird. She goes, "I watch your show," and this is right in the middle of Vic Mignogna stuff. And I didn't tell anybody I was going to Texas because I was going to go meet Ty Beard in person. And much to the internet's like speculations incorrectness, I had never personally met Ty before. He was an attorney for some of my family members and personal friend to some of my family members, but I knew him very tangentially. But I was going to go, and like we were going to both be at the same wedding, and I was like, "Oh, I told him, like, we'll take pictures together. It'll blow everybody's minds. It'll piss everybody off." It was great. And so I didn't tell anybody, but then I get seen right as I'm crossing the border. I'm like, "Don't say anything." But she hands me food and she goes, "I know who you are." And I'm like, "Fuck, is there arsenic in it?" Because like a lot of people were not happy with me about the Vic stuff. Like if you were in the anime community and you didn't like Vic, then you didn't like me. So it was very nerve-wracking. You never know what the person's going to be like. But I found that generally speaking, even people who don't like you like online, you meet them in person, they're pretty cool. Right?
Yep, that's true.
That's what I've figured out. It's like you get someone face to face. It's like, "Man, I'll buy you." Like, I don't care if you call me shitty names or whatever online. I'll buy you a beer and we'll just hang out. Like, it's not a big deal. We're just people. But yeah, it was very nerve-wracking because I don't know if other people accept that philosophy.
I've been at breakfasts and dinners with people from 6 different walks of life that all come together and just kind of talk about like fucking relationships or whatever. Nothing political, I've been to a lot of conventions, and a lot of the times these meetups, no one gives a shit about talking about politics when we're just hanging out in real life.
Right.
Like that's just it's kind of cringe.
See, well, and that's the worst part is like a person that I get along with really well in real life, even though he's absolutely a giant piece of shit that I hate online, is Vito, for example.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. Like Vito is garbage, a trash person, basically a garbage compactor. It's like Oscar the Grouch if he were fat and lonely and gay. And then I meet Vito every time I see Vito in person, we get along just fine, of course, because it's not a big fucking deal. Like who cares? Like you have different opinions on stuff. It's like you're going to be around the person, especially like him, because we'll meet up at a show or whatever that we're both doing. It's like, well, I'm going to be around you. We could sit here and like fucking hate each other or just not care because it doesn't matter.
Yeah. However, I will say it's harder to be in those situations. Well, I'll say the left, people on the far left tend to be very avoiding of those situations. And the people in the center and the middle in terms of their politics are perfectly okay with talking to anybody about just hanging out with people in general. And I'm talking about, have you ever seen like the Minds IRL event that they did with Alex Jones and Tim Pool and all that shit?
No.
Is that the one where Destiny was there?
Yeah, Destiny was there. Brian Callen was there. I was there for like, I was doing the live stream, but for the tech stuff. But it was interesting because it's a bunch of different people. Sadly, it's like centrists and right-wing people and Destiny. It's like the left doesn't. It's hard to reach out to people on the left because they're afraid to break rank, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. And even if they're
afraid because they'll be canceled, and they know they'll be canceled.
They'll be canceled for taking a photo or being in the background of a photo with Alex Jones. You know?
It's nutty. But I gotta say, like, I don't like going to like overtly political things very often. Like that Minds IRL event. I don't know if I would like want to go there. But I did just get I got invited to something really fucking cool. I got invited. I don't know. I'm not gonna announce what it is specifically. And I'm not sure on the date yet, but I got invited to be the keynote speaker at a gun convention.
Damn.
And I was like, cool. Yeah,
sounds like
that's
fun.
awesome.
Yeah.
So I love doing, like, I like doing stuff like that where the event is a thing and going and speaking. But when I'm at events, like, I don't want to talk about politics. I don't want to talk about Trump and like various agendas. I want to sit around and drink with people and tell jokes and smoke cigars. Like, that's what I like to do. Grab dicks and stuff. Like Camelot.
Hey, Anime Matsuri was a good example of that. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Are you going this year?
Yes. I already have a
Sweet.
room with some people.
Yeah. I'm going. I've had a little bit of trouble getting in touch with the owners of it. Because I think I'm kind of taking over the YouTube section of it. But and so I'm trying to facilitate that transition, make sure everything's on the up and up. But since I've been saying I'm going for a year now, like, I'm going. It's not like I'm not gonna go. But yeah, assuming everything's gonna be on and I'll still be a guest and all that stuff. But even if I'm not, I'm still gonna be there. But yeah, I hope to make some contact with them and finalize everything and let everybody know what's up, because
that was pretty fun last time. Yeah, like last time was a lot of fun.
It's always fun. It's always fun.
And it was fun for me because that was the first time I ever met people who knew who I was. And like, it was like, I had to explain who I was, but then they were like, oh, you're because I'm the kind of, nobody knows what I look like. Well, now they do. Because you stepped on me, you fat.
I know. I've shown that picture like 100 times. Every time I laugh.
But that was fun because like one of the nights we were all hanging out in the hotel lobby and like fans were there and we were all just hanging out, it was like it wasn't very like a lot of events I used to go to, especially at CPAC, it would be very, very VIP, everything. But Anime Matsuri in our community and like, the people that I know are very like just kind of cool people, open, friendly.
Yeah. And in
to
case
a point,
anybody,
to a point.
Well, yeah, most
like
of the
don't
people
follow everybody around 24 hours, but yeah.
Right. And that's the thing with Matsuri. And what I'll say very specifically and personally about Matsuri, I love being there. I love going. I love meeting a bunch of people, but also like Lady Raggets and I, like, we go there together, obviously. And a big part of that is like at some points we're just, we're gonna fuck off by ourselves for a little bit. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that we like hate being there with people or anything like that. It's just like, okay, we need a little bit of time, especially specifically her. She is not like a giant extrovert. I could probably hang around people forever and never even sleep, but she needs that recharge time because being around a lot of people can get she's very kind and courteous about it, but it can be a little overwhelming. Here we go. Look at this picture.
Oh, fuck off.
What I love is how fucking mad Shrimp Faye is behind you. Also, I've got a nice gunt in this picture. It's good. I'm looking fat. I'm much trimmer now in my midsection and a little bit bigger up top. So it'll be good. I'm looking forward to getting not photoed at all this year so that I can't prove that I'm in better shape last time. Here we go.
That was not me.
No, Lofty was the girl in the background holding the sign. Hagem Cat says, hey, can you fat shame me? I'm over 300 pounds and I have a thyroid problem. I need the extra shame to really get my lump of lard body to go exercise and to remember to take my medication. You have a thyroid problem? Oh, that's cute. No one's ever heard that before. Hagem Cat. Or should I call you Hagem Fat? Get on a fucking treadmill and your thyroid problem will disappear, or else maybe you will and do the world a favor, because right now we're spinning lopsided because of you. So if you could just not do that, it'd be really appreciated. Thank you. Just kidding. You know that, brother. Go get your goals, man. Get in better shape. Make yourself healthier. I hope you reach them. Sam Welter says, I don't super chat much, but what the heck? I'm a year clean, 365 days today. I wish everyone here nothing but the best. As tough as it gets, give a toast to being clean. Love to all. Cheers to Sam Welter, who took his first shower 365 days ago and hasn't stopped ever since. Constantly soaped, sudsed, and cleansed. I don't know what clean means. Does clean mean like clean of drugs or liquor, or what is it? I don't know which one it is, but cheers to you, brother. I hope you get your, look, everybody, this is my favorite part of the like the shamings and stuff is everybody just like do what's best for you. And like I really do want people to be happy with who they are, but I think a lot of us will say that as kind of like a cope, because I'm not happy with who I am. Like I'm getting towards goals, but like I have motivations to do different things, and that's fine. And if you've got motivations to be better about whatever it is, go do it. Like that's it. But if you don't, like if you're happy with who you are, be fucking happy.
Be very happy. I was talking about the exact same thing the other day on stream with somebody. It's like I have goals and motivations, and goals in general. I think so. Somebody asked me what is happiness. I think it was Shagsworth on the Midweek Hump. They have a good YouTube channel, small YouTube channel. I like to support those guys. But he was like, what's happiness? I was like, I think pursuing a goal is when I feel at most in where I enjoy my life at most. Because like I want to be somewhere, but I'm not there. So I have like somewhat of anxiety. I'm just like, oh shit, But going towards some sort of goal is like I think like the point of life, to be honest. It's like you're never gonna get there. But
well, what the fuck else are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a weird thing. People, I've got some people close to me who've asked, like, what are we even doing? Like, what is life? When they're kind of down and depressed, and I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, I get on a camera and yell at shit like that. I guess that's the point. I don't know. Like, you raise kids or whatever, and then they go do what they do. Like, what is the point of life? I'm not so sure. There's such a grand fucking design that there's a point. Like, it's just do something. I mean, I guess
just be well. Be yourself is another thing that just kind of is a cliche, but it's like, don't try.
No, some people definitely need to not be themselves.
Yeah, like Chris Chan.
That would be good, Chris Chan. No, I mean, there's a lot of people demonstrably who shouldn't be themselves, right? Like,
what? Yeah, but there are a lot of people.
Everyone in prison.
Yeah, that's true.
Tried not being themselves.
Don't be yourself.
Should have done something else, fam.
That's an interesting thing to say. But I mean, like, there's a lot of people that are trying to like fit in, and it's just like, you don't need to fit in. It's like,
right.
There's a lot of, and this touches on all kinds of political spectrums at the moment, but you don't need to fit into a group to be relevant or valuable. It's like,
yeah, I don't know. My thing is I just try and like, and I've done this forever, but I get to do it much better, or like at a much bigger scale now. I don't know that I do it better, but I do it at a much bigger scale now. It's like I just want people to like hear a good story from time to time and laugh at some things, and that's it. And like if that's my purpose, then I'll keep doing that. And if it's ever not my purpose, I think I'll know because it'll stop.
Well, that's probably because you at one point in time you enjoyed that experience, and you're like, well, that's cool.
I did enjoy laughing at something one time.
Yeah,
just
like
once.
before you were a big streamer, you probably were
every other time it was a chore, Lofty.
Well,
God, I gotta laugh again. Fuck me.
God, this Mel Brooks fucking movie again. No, that guy's a genius.
Sketch EM says, hey, Nick, down 70 pounds since you fat shamed me last year. Also, are you still against anti-SLAPP now since your current stuff with Monty? Hope you win, by the way. Yes, I am still principally opposed to anti-SLAPPs, but here's why. And the Colorado one that we're suing under is a little bit different. If anti-SLAPPs were merely an automatic award of attorney's fees for a pretrial dismissal or a summary judgment in the case of a SLAPP, then I'm for it. Like if it's an analysis where you go, okay, we're going to dismiss this thing pretrial, we're going to do summary judgment, and if we determine that it was frivolous, if we make that determination, then we're going to award attorney's fees to the defendant. I'm not just for that on anti-SLAPP. I'm for that on literally every single fucking type of litigation. Anytime when a court determines a lawsuit to be facially frivolous, I think they should award attorney's fees to the defendant. That is my big problem with anti-SLAPP in a lot of states, including Texas and California, is that it creates a pretrial evidentiary burden for the plaintiff without the benefit of a fact finder. The judge has to act as a fact finder when it's not their role, especially when you have a right to a jury on these issues. And I don't like that the judge weighs the value of evidence prior to going to trial, prior to getting discovery, prior to all of these things happening. And I think it's inappropriately applied because I do think that there's supposed to be favor for the plaintiff in presenting that evidence and considering that evidence as if it were uncontroverted. They don't actually do that, though. And we saw that in the Vic case. We've seen that in other anti-slaps where it's like, no, this is a case where that it should be going to trial and it gets thrown out. My case, I think there's no evidence in question in my case. So we don't need that like evidentiary issue solved. The only evidence is, did I say these things on these dates? Are these things legally actionable? If not, it should be dismissed because it's frivolous. That's honestly where I think basically everything I said about Montegraph is covered under that. But other than that, if there were an evidentiary question at issue, did I say the thing? Is this what I said? Is this the date that I said it? I haven't denied any of that. There is not like all of the evidence that's put before the court is all there in front of the court. So if it's actionable, we'll move on. If it's not actionable, it should be dismissed and I should be awarded fees. Now, the Colorado statute doesn't create a higher evidentiary burden. The Texas one requires something called clear and specific evidence, which is not higher, but it has a weird, like different approach to it. That's the shit that I'm opposed to. So I hope that clarifies things. Sean, you were going to say something. I kept cutting you off. Sorry.
Yeah, no. I was going to say, so like, I mean, like, do you feel like the Afro Man's lawsuit? I think that's a clear example of where SLAPP should be put together.
Absolutely. Like Afro Man's lawsuit. This is a guy using someone's likeness to make fun of them has never been a civil issue.
Well, and not only that, a government official.
Right. Exactly. Like they're suing under something. It's called a right of privacy in some states. New York case law specifically. I don't think Afro-Man case is in New York, but it's just a good illustrative.
It's in Ohio.
Yeah, a good illustrative cases in New York. How they describe it, though, they say it's called a right of privacy, but it's actually more akin to a right of publicity. And that is when, if I were to say, here is Fairlife Core Power, and Sean, potentially criminal, is a big supporter, and he endorses this. And then I use the brand value of potentially criminal to endorse a product against his wishes, against his interests, or without compensation that we've talked about, then I have used his publicity, something he has curated himself, and now his name is being put on something. Now, imagine it wasn't this delicious vanilla protein shake, but instead was like Bud Light or whatever, right after Dylan Mulvaney. And they think, oh my God, Sean's now also a trans person. Right. And so then his reputation, his character gets put on something that maybe he didn't want it on. That's what the right of publicity is. Afro Man is clearly not doing that to these cops. Not in the fucking slightest. They have no brand value to their names and faces. They're just cops in Ohio. Who fucking cares?
Damn. I don't know anything about that.
So yeah, you don't know anything about that?
Never heard of that.
Oh,
okay. Do you know who Afro Man is?
No, I know Afro Samurai, but that's
no. Okay, so that you know the rap song "Because I Got High," that one.
Yes, I do actually. Yeah,
that's Afro Man. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's the artist that created that song, and then it was either last year or the year before. The police in Ohio executed a search warrant of his property, and they like ransacked his place. They disconnected his security cameras. One of the fat guys looked at a piece of cake, a pound cake that was
longingly stared at a piece of cake.
He's like, he does the Kevin James, like,
is this on video? A body cam?
Yeah, no, it's on his
security cameras.
Oh, base.
Before
the cop being fat.
But yeah, before they disconnected it. So he makes a song. So he was being his search warrant is for kidnapping and marijuana possession. And I still want to see that fucking probable cause sheet, don't you, Sean?
Yes. I think it's gonna be great.
So I can't play the video on YouTube. I could maybe play it on Rumble, but anyway, so he makes a music video from the security footage that they presumably got in Discovery. Or I don't know if it was publicly available at the time, but
no, I think the security camera footage, he still kept it.
Oh,
he had a backup of it. Yeah.
Hey, how often are judges warrant signatures? How often do they get fucked for signing shitty warrants?
Judges?
Like,
never.
Yeah, never, ever?
No,
Never,
because generally the
What
way
if
it works is
Oh, okay.
No, because if you're, it's the judge has to so he asks the cop, "Hey, is everything here true under the threat of perjury?" Yep. I mean,
So
to be
not
fair,
his-
what can he really do
Yeah.
other than like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go investigate it now, and it's like,
Yeah, the
Okay, well then-
theory is
Yeah.
that the cop is being honest under penalty of perjury.
Yeah.
The practice is the district attorney is never going to prosecute a cop for lying on a search warrant. And we know
Yes.
that because cops lie on search warrants all the time.
Well,
Mhm.
broken system. The left
Yeah.
is right. I'm kidding.
Yeah, well, and there's like, what do you do? Even if you can't pursue a private cause of action against the cops generally for that search warrant.
Yeah.
And like you have to
No.
really show like an egregious lie, like, and you have to show that they knew it was a lie rather than just
even then they get qualified immunity because
Right.
they get to do the John Coffey defense and say, "Oh, I'm a poor retard. I didn't know no
Wait, can
better."
you remind me again? Can you remind me again? In movies
Oh.
all the fucking time.
Yeah.
I see the struggle in the mind of an officer, a detective, thinking, should I or should I not knock this door down? And sometimes it comes down to knowing for 100% certainty that something is fucked up inside, so they do it. What is?
no. They have they have qualified immunity on a lot of things, and on other things they have a good faith exception. So if they
heard somebody yelling for help.
Right. If they can
They thought.
articulate a reasonable reason for their assumption or their belief, for their reasonable belief that they haven't, like typically they need an exception to the warrant requirement.
So
exceptions to the warrant requirement are like exigent circumstances, which means that's the catch-all. You have a hot pursuit exception. So, you're chasing a guy, you see him go into a place, you can knock it down. Plain view, if they look in a window and see something fucked up like some cocaine on the table or whatever, they can bust the door down. Any of those sort of things are exceptions to the warrant requirement. So as long as they have sufficient probable cause and a valid exception to the warrant requirement, they can go in. The valid exception gets a good faith a good faith error exception. Like if they see a cop run into an apartment building, for example, right? And the guy runs down the hall, turns the corner, and on the corner there's two doors, one on either side of the hallway. And as the cop follows and turns the corner, he sees the door on the left side of the hallway close. His reasonable good faith assumption is that the guy just busted into the left door, but he may have actually gone in the right door. So then the cop busts open the left door, runs through it, doesn't find the perpetrator, but looks on the table and there's a big bag of weed. He can make an arrest or citation for that bag of weed being in the plain view, even though he had no real reason to be in that apartment, but he has the hot pursuit good faith exception. He can reasonably say, look, the guy rounded the corner 1 second before me. I turn the corner. I see the door closing. I assume he's in there. I bust the door down. Turns out he had gone in the other door.
So there's a really dramatic scene in the movie Seven with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman where
Great movie.
They're chasing Kevin Spacey's character or whatever. And they get to his apartment and Morgan Freeman's like, no, we can't go in there without a warrant. And Brad Pitt's like, oh, come on. Like he's this spunky little, cop, like newbie.
Yeah.
And Morgan Freeman's like trying to, and then he just kicks the door down. And he's like, oh, we're gonna lose. The guy's gonna walk in court or something. But this was after they chased him and he shot at them and shit. Like, are you saying that's okay? Like into an apartment building?
The hot pursuit exception is pretty. It's pretty broad, but there's a reasonableness question. Has it been 5 seconds? Has it been a minute? Has it been 5 minutes? And it becomes a question of when it becomes unreasonable. But who's sitting there with the stopwatch, Lofty?
Right.
Who's timing from when the cops saw him go?
But when they go in, they find a bunch of fucked up shit and illegal shit. So I guess they're fine then, right?
Well,
or
maybe.
No.
I mean, so it kind of works like this.
Yeah.
If they come in and they find your weed and you're not allowed to have weed in your state, okay, you don't get that back, but you won't get prosecuted for it necessarily.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, the Supreme Court is not, your Fourth Amendment rights have been whittled away and whittled away and whittled away for over 100 years now. Yep. So it's, when it's, my prohibition, then it was my drugs, and then my organized crime, and now my terrorism, and now my domestic terrorism. So even if all that happens, you have to convince the Supreme Court that what happened was wrong. And that is an uphill battle. And then you get the qualified immunity, and that basically excuses every damn thing possible.
Yeah.
So Andrew W says that was specifically because the way they got to the apartment was illegal. The information came from a database search of books being checked out from the FBI.
That's right.
Now,
I don't remember
what's
the part.
interesting though is I'm not sure what about that is illegal because
It's law
books checked,
enforcement info.
yeah, and books checked out from the from a
Library.
public library
Public.
are not private records. You have no privacy interest in books being checked out from a public library.
Interesting. So
So-
David Fincher did his homework, maybe. Yeah.
If I mean, well, it'd be that'd be one of those interesting scenes to look at. A really good scene on Fourth Amendment and exigent circumstances and exceptions to
that one.
the warrant requirement is actually in Breaking Bad. Did you watch Breaking Bad?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
2 times full all the way through.
You know the time when they show up at the junkyard and they're in the RV
Yes.
in the junkyard
Yes.
and the brother-in-law or whatever is outside the RV and he's arguing with the junkyard owner about entering the RV and he's like, you can't do that. He's like, yes, I can. It's a moving vehicle. There's a moving vehicle exception in the warrant which there is. And he's like, yeah, but that one's stationary. That's a domicile. That's an RV home. You don't have the moving. And he's like, it's got wheels. He's like, but that one doesn't move. And they're having that argument. That's actually an excellently done Fourth Amendment argument over that one. So if anyone's looking for that shit, watch that scene.
And it's a car sitting in a junkyard, so there's a presumption it doesn't work.
Right.
That's
it's
the
sitting
one
in a
where they
parking
have
lot.
bullet holes in the window, right? Or
Yeah,
they-
but he removed that tape, and he did not have the right to touch that item.
That's
You're now
right.
that would
Great
also
writing.
be
Great
that would
writing.
be I would argue that's a taking under the Fifth Amendment. Like you removed, that's like going up to your house and removing a piece of siding. Like who the hell said you can do that?
Yeah, you can't.
Wow.
And
Vince
it's a
Gilligan.
fantastically done scene. There are a couple. I mean,
And
there
then
are
I wish
couple-
Walter went home and shot Skylar in the face. But no, I finally got to watch that whole series. Like
I like
probably about
She's
2 months
such a
ago. I
bitch.
finished it up.
I
I
like the
fucking hate that
actress.
woman.
I like the actress a lot.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I hope no.
Yeah.
I think she's a horrible person for being Skylar.
Oh,
I'm impugning that on her
People
right
do
now.
think that. I actually wanted to know your opinions about. Well, we don't have to go into a rabbit hole, but do you like?
That's what Friday is. It's all about it.
Better
All about
Call Saul.
I've never watched
I've
it.
memed you. Oh, dude, you look like Bob Odenkirk, man. Okay,
I know. I hear it all the time.
yeah. So here's the deal, dude. That is one of the best shows of all time, and Breaking Bad as well. I'm just curious if you've had any headaches over the being a lawyer over Breaking Bad. Like, were you compelled by the fiction? Was it pretty realistic? Of like Bob of Saul Goodman's character?
If I'm watching a show with a lawyer in it, I turn off anything I ever think about being a lawyer.
Oh, good.
Because there's no it's too fucking frustrating.
Yeah.
I know of attorneys who have engaged in kind of like sketchy Saul Goodman like stuff.
Okay.
That I couldn't confirm it, so I don't really have to worry about it. But
like putting up shady billboards and shit.
No, not exactly.
Like running money laundering stuff.
Money laundering.
And I've been involved in. I've had clients come to me like, hey, I want to do this or that. And I'm like, we really shouldn't talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. You really shouldn't do this. This conversation didn't happen. And if you want to talk to me again, put yourself in another fucking room.
But
no, generally you stay out of it.
Is there a type of lawyer that, okay, I know there's this gray line that the female character in the show is like adamant about not crossing for the longest time, and then she eventually does. Is there lawyers in reality that will cross that line and then exist in like the shady reality of like being a lawyer for like criminals exclusively? Like, is that a thing in reality?
What do you mean? Like, you mean like not a criminal defense attorney, but like a lawyer to criminal, like a crime boss or like a crime family, stuff like that.
Yes,
sure.
because when he got into when he was sent to prison, in the prison bus at the end of the season, I don't care about spoilers. He was everybody respected him because of the way he dealt with the crime world was such a benefit to them. So you're saying absolutely that's a fact.
Oh, there's attorneys who get wrapped up in all kinds of shit all the time.
El Chapo has a an attorney. I mean,
Saul Goodman was not entirely created out of thin air.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's awesome. It's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, El Chapo has lawyers. The five families of like in New York or whatever, like they have family attorneys because they specialize in that type of criminal defense. And they, you make assumptions about what they're doing, but the reality is they're guys who are good at defending racketeering, and they're really good at not hearing what their client does and says, like, and just staying away from it.
And there are attorneys who end up getting wrapped up into the actual business and do illegal things.
Yikes.
Yeah, but well, people have asked me how to like launder money and shit. I'm like, dude, I'm a YouTuber. I don't actually know any of that.
It's not hard.
It's not rocket science, but I also don't know how, and I don't want to.
How about like planting cocaine in like a hypothetical like locker or something? Do any lawyers go that far out of their way to help their clients or to help themselves? Or
I mean, the answer is yes, of course.
Is that probably a thing? I'm just
it's definitely a criminal act to assist to assist a client in committing an ongoing crime is a criminal act.
Yeah.
Damn.
But there are lawyers who who might hold evidence for clients that the lawyers don't ask and don't want to know what the evidence is for. But like your client comes up and says, here's like a gun or whatever, and can you hold this for me as my attorney? Then, attorneys will hold like a gun, right? Like they don't know what it did. They have no idea.
They know, but they know what they're doing.
No, exactly. I was told to hold this. Now, if you pick it up, like when it's handed to me and there's like flecks of like hair and bits of like scalp on it, like, okay, I kind of know what would probably happen with it. But otherwise, no, it's like I was told hold this bag. I mean, yes, but that's when you get to that point, you are getting onto the very sketchy edge of not yourself getting indicted. So it's very
that's the trick, is because you can surely assert that you know nothing about what that is, or the problem is a judge will attempt to pierce privilege when they get to eventually prove that you didn't know, and you better have clean communication.
It's not only that, but a jury is going to sit there and say, well, did you not, like, how many times have you ever been, like, how many times do attorneys get handed questionable things? And it's like generally not. And you're taught in law school, like when you get to that point, you're like, no, you shouldn't do that. Like if you have a gun, it's not like I'd say anything, but like if you threw it in the water, they might, guns don't get found all the time like that.
Well, what's his face? His gun, right? The guy who shot the attorney in Wisconsin, that hilarious case with B. Ivory Lamar. He says
Theodore Edgecombe. Yeah,
Edgecombe. He said he was driving through past a bridge, I think in Ohio even, and he just like chucked the gun towards the water, and they went and checked that area. They could never find it because who knows what happened to it. But
how many bridges between here and Wisconsin are there?
It's a shitload. It could be anywhere. But that's a far better way to get rid of something than to hand it to your attorney. But attorneys, I mean, yes, fiction is generally derived from truth.
Yes.
It's not always successful though.
But I can get, like, I've been paid with guns before for service and tools and things like that.
What's the psychology of the viewer when they're like falling? They're attracted to a lawyer who kind of fucks over the courts in a way that benefits the criminal.
That's why.
That's the whole point of the show.
That's why.
Why do you think people like to watch that stuff?
Because people like watching the government get fucked over.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it?
No, I think it's different because this isn't Law and Order, where it's like prosecution porn and pro-state pornography, where the state always wins and they're the good guys, and
Law and
the
Order
other side's pieces of shit.
On.
Well, it's that, but it's all the cop shows and all the. Yep. I mean, they don't. The shows about the public defenders don't last very long, or the defense attorneys don't last very long. And,
the ones that do it the best are the ones that blend it very nice. Like the ones, Hannibal.
The Wire is great.
The Wire. I also think Hannibal on Showtime. Well, it was canceled after 3 seasons, but it's a great procedural where there's a criminal element where you're like, oh, I want this guy to get away with it for some fucking reason. I guess I'm morbid, but at the same time, Jack Crawford and Will Graham, you're rooting for them too. It's a great blend. You're not just like. You're like struggling, like you're picking it. You're struggling to pick a side. Like those are the best ones, I think. Where Hank Schrader is such a great character in Breaking Bad. You're like, I want him to catch Walter, and then at the same time, you're like, I want Walter to get away with it. It's like you're kind of as a viewer, you're like, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah,
Those are
well,
my favorite shows.
that's the real beauty of that, and what they actually capture is that life and crime and criminals are really fucking complicated.
Yep.
And I'm guessing Sean has experienced this too, but anyone who's defended any criminals will know that, you know, like you meet them and they're just people. Like these are just people, and oftentimes they got caught up in a fucked up circumstance. A lot of times they're in a place of like poverty or stress or whatever, and they make a shitty choice, and then they're judged by that choice. And you know, sometimes they need to be, right? Like you kill someone, but the weird thing is, like, that choice is an isolated incident for a lot of people. Now, there are, of course, repeat offenders. There are generally troublesome people who are constantly assaulting people and all that. Yes, I know. But you run into a lot of people in the criminal justice system who, when other than finding out that they're being charged with like battery, like you would never know that there was anything about them because they're just basically fucking normal. And so when shows create that tension, that's the recognition of of how complicated this really is. It's really easy for politicians and everybody to just propagandize and say, well, we got to be tough on crime. It's like, well, what the fuck does that actually mean?
Yeah.
And are your policies equating to changing the lives of people? Because what you're not going to do with like a 5-year longer jail sentence is change the guy who's robbing a liquor store from robbing the liquor store. Like it's just not going to do it. Like that. And I don't know what the answer is, but that isn't going to solve something. It's like, well, if we give him 5 more years, then he won't go in and rob the liquor store.
Yeah.
Like the dude.
Yeah. The tough on crime, the political pundit tough on crime thing is like a gimmick. And it's like anyone who falls for that is just like Trump is a good example. I think I voted for the guy, but he didn't. Like, what did he do exactly? And he banned bump stocks. I can't think like what policies did he in back that were tough on crime? I'm trying to, you know what I mean?
Mainly on border stuff.
I guess border security is fantastic,
but he was actually better on crime because he was starting to pardon people and commute sentences. Like he was doing things we'd actually like to see done. But yes, I mean, a lot of times people who commit crimes are good people who do boneheaded things.
Yeah.
Most of the time. There are some feral, savage human beings out there too.
Jordan Neely was arrested 40 times.
Yeah, but
like,
also
what are we doing? Why are we?
Yeah, but also for him though, I will give you a little bit. When you are schizophrenic and you like actually might be another person at the time.
Okay.
That doesn't mean you're absolved from committing crimes, but that's a little different than the people out there who are just going straight up buck wild.
Yeah. I just think it's weird that we have a system where people can be arrested 40 times. Like, does it make sense to me?
Well, I mean, just being arrested 40 times. I mean, you know, like cops are pieces of shit. Like, you know, you could get arrested 40 times. I mean, like
40 is quite a bit.
Like after is it after like 35? It's like what do you want to happen?
Yeah. You got to recognize that some people like so this guy is like schizophrenic and homeless, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to constantly be out. Like you're always in.
Yeah.
Right? Like you live in a place. So you have a place to be. Someone who's always out is more frequent. Like
so the ratio of you're right.
Just imagine the amount of interaction that you have with the cops when you are spending 12 hours of your day at home, 8 hours of your day at work, and then 4 hours of your day commuting. I think I did the math right. Like you're really not out a lot. Homeless people are out all the fucking time. And a lot of times they're doing something that is either it might be illegal or it might just be generally disruptive. If they smell, if they come into a shop that doesn't want them there, they're going to get arrested. They're going to get removed from the place. And that's the cops doing a public service, but that doesn't necessarily amount to criminal activity.
Yeah. And where are the cops? The cops are out and about in society. And like in New York City, there's cops up on the street. They have subway cops. So you're going to run into them all the time.
That's true.
And, you know, I'm not like, I mean, holy shit, you guys act like I'm sucking the guy's dick. It's just, that's the reality. Like, I get the idea. Yeah, we should fucking execute everybody.
Oh no,
I get
I
it,
didn't say
chat.
that. Yeah.
No,
No, he's
I'm
talking
not
about the
saying
chat.
you. Everybody who commits, everybody littering, just summary execution like KGB style. Like I get it.
Toughest
It
part
sounds
of
great.
the toughest part of being a defense attorney on YouTube is
reading chat,
especially if you're on the right, because frankly, you guys, you assholes in the chat, who I love very much, have been so fucking propagandized.
The minute you got
and
hooked in book, you be screaming and crying and offering to suck my dick to make that problem go away. And I might let you do it and then let you find out it doesn't help.
People are indoctrinated by what? Social media?
No, usually politicians.
Yeah, and they think I'm a good guy. Fuck the bad guys.
The pro-government propaganda on cops, especially on the right, has been so pervasive. And it's funny because like you see the internal struggle when they see January 6th and they're like, well, why are these guys? And they see what happened with the Proud Boys in that fight in New York where they fought with Antifa. And it's like you see the Antifa guy throw a bottle and then the Proud Boys come and engage and all the Proud Boys got fucked over and Antifa got nothing. And they're like, well, that's unjust. It's like, no, that's the whole system.
Yeah.
Like it's all like that.
Well, they also stood around and talked to the cops. Like, no, if you're doing stuff, the police,
the majority of these places don't hold them any bail either. Like that, where I'm
they shouldn't though.
Where I'm from, we had BLM riots, and our judge was like, "Fuck it, $1 million bails, instant." 1 day later, the riots were over. $1 million bail. I don't know. That should have happened all over the country, but
I don't know. I mean, it's $1 million bail and a riot charge, depending on what the riot charge.
They were lighting fires, but
I could go out and shoot one of my neighbors in the street right now and not get held on $1 million bail.
Yeah, like that's the 8th Amendment prohibits excessive bails. Yeah. Like it's specific.
And I thought that was
and that's the thing though,
discretionary thing, but okay.
Well, no. There's you.
Question is, what is excessive?
Yeah, and this idea. Well, I guess here's the other thing too. Like, oh well, we should hold people in jail. It's like that sounds great. I mean. Yeah, you're in jail. Okay, well, now you're in jail. You've lost your job. You lose your house. You lose your car. Now we let them out of the street. Now they're going to be fucking lunatics again. How could this have happened?
If you burn a business down, though, how do you get let out on the street the next day to do the same thing again?
So, and I get with the BLM issue there, but if you post the bond so high that you're making it so nobody can post it, that is unconstitutional. You should, if they happen to have the bail fund, then
But then if it's unconstitutional, why are none of these judges getting fucked by it?
Well, judges will never get
immunity.
fucked by it. Yeah.
That's a separate matter there. Maybe and it's just the other issue is oh, this guy kept on getting released. Like, yeah, and you know what? Most people shouldn't sit in jail. That causes so many fucking problems. Like I've had guys, you can't people out there. Okay, you need $5,000 right now to get out of jail. How many of you are going to be able to do that? How many of you? That's at the 10% level.
And if you don't have that $5,000, you're going to be in jail for, let's say, 14 days while someone gathers that $5,000. Do you have a job when you're done?
Most of you.
Not everybody has 14 days of, by the way, I'm calling you in sick because I'm in fucking jail.
Yeah.
And a lot of people
just call your boss and say, "Hey, I got arrested for some really serious shit." They're gonna tell you not to come back.
I didn't do it though.
Yeah,
I didn't do it.
Yeah.
It's the interesting thing about that is like, yeah, I mean, and let's say, okay, here you go. I'll give you a better example because Sean just said 5,000. I had a client, and so I had 3 clients. It's all the same crime. I've told this story before, but it's great. I love this one. This is a presumed meth bust by the Drug Task Force of Western Central Minnesota. It's a multi-county task force that is tracking down drugs. They get a hot tip from a definitely not criminal informant, the fucking liars, who's obviously a criminal informant. But an informant says that one of my 3 clients, was selling meth in this house, right? So what they did was they executed the search of the garbage can, which is legal. That's within the garbage cans placed out to be collected by the garbage company. That has been ruled permissible by the 4th Amendment. You don't have protection in that. So they searched the garbage can. Yeah. They searched the garbage can, and in it they find a straw with potential for methamphetamine in it. Now, interestingly, that straw was in a cup from a Super America gas station, and that cup and straw were thrown in there by the criminal informant that day. But let's just ignore that, okay? So they search it. So they develop their probable cause for meth because they found a straw which is consistent with methamphetamine transportation. If you don't know, criminals will cut off like a section of straw, put meth in it, pinch the ends, and fold it in, and that like can hold meth inside, I guess, like a powdered substance, right? So they searched this thing. They didn't find any meth in the garbage can, but they said they didn't test the straw either. They just said it was a straw consistent with meth transportation. So now they have justification to execute this search warrant that they get based on this literally bullshit idea. They search the house. They don't find any meth because there isn't meth there. Bonus, one of my clients, the one accused of distributing meth, is actually a former meth addict who is allergic to it and can die from it if she comes into contact. So fun fact on that one.
Wow.
So they definitely are not meth distributors because my client could die from it. So anyway, what they do find though is a vial of THC, or not THC, CBD oil. All right. So the shit you can buy at like a drugstore, like or an alternative
I don't like
medicine
where
store.
this is going.
They said they tested the CBD oil for THC and found THC. They didn't actually, because when they finally gave me the fucking report that they wrote several months later, they didn't write it at the time. They mentioned the reagent kit that they used, and the one they wrote down was the one for meth. So they allegedly tested for meth, but the results they described were the results for THC. Fun story. They don't know what tests they used, and they don't know what the results were because they didn't fucking test it because they just fucking lied on it.
Fail.
But here's the great thing. It was CBD oil. It's completely legal to own, just like any other liquid in the house. They didn't test any other liquid. They just decided they needed something. So they took this vial and they said it was illegal. They charged all three of my clients with felony possession of marijuana, THC. Any amount of THC in any oil is a felony possession in Minnesota. Okay. So my one client who was not home at the time, who has never had anything to do with any of this, was charged and placed on a $20,000 bail. So you can make $5,000. I saw a lot of hands say, "Oh, you can go in for $5,000." How about 20? You got 20 grand?
You just have 10%. And are you willing to give that 10% to a bondsman and it's pissed
Lose
away?
it
You
forever.
never get it back. Yeah.
Lose it forever.
Mhm.
You got 20? You got 2?
Yeah. How many stacks on deck you got?
And again, remember, this is for CBD oil. And part of my argument in chambers to the judge, I said, "Judge, this is CBD oil. This is legal in Minnesota. You can buy it anywhere." He's like, "Is that true?" And I said, "You take off your robe, big guy, and I'll walk down 2 blocks from the courthouse to the natural medicine store, and I will buy you CBD oil right now." And he looks at the prosecutor and he says,
Based.
"What's the state's position?" She says, "Well, we are of the position that this contains trace amounts of THC that are illegal." I said, "That is bullshit. They didn't test it. They know they didn't test it, and they know there's nothing in there. They didn't test the milk. They didn't test the shampoo. They didn't test any other legal liquid in that house. They had no reason to believe that this was unlawful other than they couldn't figure out what to do when they didn't find meth." We had that case dismissed right after that argument.
That was pre-trial, right? That was what's that called? Preliminary.
Well, I was in Minnesota. It's at our omnibus hearing.
Yeah, but in the meantime, you've been hooked and booked. Now everybody in town thinks you're a drug dealer.
Yeah.
On top of that,
to take the judge down to get fucking CBD oil.
Mhm.
Yeah,
that's epic.
But this is the shit people get put in jail for. Their lives ruined, their jobs ruined, their reputations ruined. Your face goes in the paper. You get your fucking mugshot. You go on the county website. You're listed in the county registry for felony possession of controlled substances. Like, it's fucking crazy. And I know.
And you might get that case in Ohio. If it gets dismissed, you can ask to have it sealed. Great. But now it's already out there. It's out there on all those websites. It can be found forever. Now you're fucked because people think you're a drug dealer.
Wow. Yeah, and when you seal that case, all the other stuff, it remains out there. All the accusations stay out, and the sealing of why it was dismissed isn't there. So it's like a toss-up in that case. But what
happened to their drug dealer that gave the false tip?
Nothing.
They're
you think the police do shit about their snitches?
No way.
And when you're a snitch, you are like you ever seen Glengarry Glen Ross?
Yeah.
Great
Okay,
fucking
that's
movie.
your job. Like,
Yeah.
Randy Weaver and Ruby Ridge is the best example of this. Back
Alec
in
Baldwin.
1992. Have you heard about it?
Ruby Ridge? Yes,
Yeah.
I've heard about it.
So
yeah.
you should, because you're wearing a green beret, just like Randy Weaver had one.
Yeah.
And no, he did. He was a Green Beret knob. He talked to an informant, tried to get him to sell a sawed-off shotgun. Randy's like, I ain't doing that. He gave him a gun. And then when after everything happened, Randy went to trial because the feds charged him with cutting the shotgun down.
Wow.
At trial, it came out it was very likely the informant did it himself. When you're an informant, you have to deliver. You have to deliver leads. You've got to deliver information. That's part of your agreement. And if you don't deliver well enough on your agreement, the cops say, well, fuck you. We're not helping you. We're not going to help. The prosecutor's not going to help you. You have to, like, there is no specific, like, you have, sometimes it's like, I got to do 3 buys from 3 separate people. Sometimes it's like, we'll just tell you when it's good.
Damn.
I mean, so no, like snitching is, snitching should be a hazardous fucking job anyway.
It's
But
so in this
it's
case,
mess.
the snitch
Yes,
was
yes. By the way, hold on. Somebody mentioned yes, Duke Chronic. Yes, fuck Lon Horiyuchi, you son of a bitch. You will never escape God's justice for what you did to Vicky Weaver.
My boy Chris Cola gave you $20. I just wanted to.
Yeah, I'm almost there. Yeah, I do. I'm almost to that one.
Yes.
But just real
quick.
This
is such a fun Friday night. We're just having jokes.
I know. I like talking about this stuff. I don't talk about it with anybody. I don't know. You're my only lawyer.
On that one on the one case, the snitch. So I'll tell you the snitch. And this is what they do to people.
Yeah.
So the snitch was a mom. The snitch had a child who was in under investigation, or she was under investigation by Child Protective Services. Why do you think she was snitching? Like, I mean, we got you. We've got your fucking child.
Yeah.
We will take your child. We will take it from you. And so, they're there. They're hanging out with this person. They really want to provide some info, and they just aren't coming up with anything. So what do? Come up with a scheme to plant a little bit. What's going in the garbage can, to tell the cops to go check the garbage can right when you leave, exactly where everything is. And then you say that they're dealing meth, even when that wasn't fucking happening. And, and guess what? The cops have no qualms about this. They have no problem. That drug task force, the only thing they were mad about is that they didn't actually find meth.
And like, let's say they use dogs. Dogs like, oh, the dog hit on your car. You know what they say? Oh, well, the dog was wrong. No, there were drugs in here at some point. The dog knows.
Yep.
And remember, that's a machine that chews on its asshole for fun. That's their answer.
Yeah, I've always wondered how accurate police.
They're not.
They're not.
They're not. It's literally a Ouija board that shits. That's
most people don't know that. Do you know a lot of normies think police dogs are like actual robots? Not robots, but like they know exactly what they're doing,
The problem is a lot of canine tests that are done, the canine proof tests, the canine trainer, right? Or the dog guy, he knows where the drugs are in the test. And the thing is, the dogs pick up on cues from their master. That's what they're really good at. But in full blind tests, the dogs tend to perform about as well as humans. They're about 50-50.
Fuck, that's terrifying. Can I ask you a very specific question about that dog? If you have a criminal with
if you're a white girl, don't be around dogs.
If you have a criminal, if you're chasing a guy,
don't hide cocaine in your vagina because your dog might have a friend already.
If you're chasing a guy who is armed on his property, and you send a dog to go, let's say you were chasing him and he parks his car, gets out, goes in his house, and you send a dog after him, and he is afraid to get his nuts or whatever, his throat chewed off.
Yeah.
And he goes to shoot the dog, and you kill that guy. How do cops ever get that? It seems
hold
like
on, who's shooting who?
A win-win scenario.
The cop is shooting the guy who is threatening the dog.
The cop kills the guy going to kill the dog, because what else is the guy supposed to do?
Well, it depends on if the cops are justified in sending the dog.
Well, no, because then they could still say we try. Remember, it's the John Coffey defense.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I
boss.
mean, their justification.
We're a bunch of big retards. We done try hard. Oopsie poopsie.
Yeah. I mean,
no, that's literally they literally go into court. They go into court and they act like John Coffey. I mean, they'll set a deposition. Well, I didn't know I couldn't do that, boss. Oh, Lord of me, oh my. I thought we could done shoot people. I thought we could take money when we go raid a store. Nobody done told us we could not do that. Lord of me, oh my. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what they do. And the court says, well, they're big fucking retards. Sorry.
Yeah, and that works with cops themselves too. So Minnesota, there's a specific law. Like a lot of people are like, oh, you can resist an unjust arrest with lethal force. You cannot in most states. In Minnesota,
well, even if you can, they're gonna fucking kill you because they're gonna think they're right. Right.
And they're not gonna go to prison. Like they're not gonna get charged for that most of the time. So if now a cop may get charged for kneeling on your neck and get convicted, but if you pull a gun on a cop, even if it's justified and he shoots you, you're done. Like and he's not.
Yeah.
Most
in the private chat I sent you what I was talking about. It happened 2 weeks ago and it kind of freaked me out. That's why I was wondering. You don't have to watch it.
Okay, well
a dog's an officer though. Like if you pull a gun on a dog, they're gonna treat it as if you pulled a gun on a human.
Yeah, which is bullshit because they're the ones who put the dog in the danger, and it's actually just it's no different than a piece of equipment, really.
Yeah. Don't tell that to the chat or anybody else who've been again so propagandized on police canines. That, no, good boy was just a good officer. No, it's a taser. That's all it is. They've reduced it to equipment, by the way.
It's a taser that barks.
Chat says I hate puppies. No, I have 2 dogs. I'm just asking.
I have a black friend too, which means I'm not racist.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Fuck.
Guys, you know Lofty loves dogs. He's a white girl.
Yeah. Fuck. Oh, damn it.
Wardrobe says a toast, please, Nick, to my old life and family long gone, and to finally getting back on my feet, starting over. Screw those people. I'm still here. Cheers to you, brother.
Cheers.
Anyone keeping you down in this world, unfortunately, has a time limit, and that time limit needs to eventually expire, and you need to move on. You can give people second, third, and fourth chances, but at some point, the person dragging you down has to go, and you need to move on and be you. A cheers to you and your new beginnings.
Cheers. I'm gonna grab another drink quick. I'll be right back.
Somebody's asking about Aaron Dean. Like, okay, yes, it's like the one time somebody got held responsible for shooting somebody unlawfully. Like, great.
Yeah. The amount of officer involved shootings that get guilty convictions is extremely rare.
Well, just to get prosecuted.
Right.
I mean, like Amir Locke is a great one. I did a video on that. The police sneak into this guy's house, and then he basically wakes up with like a fucking flashlight in his face and people screaming. And oh my God, he grabs a gun and we got to shoot him.
Yep. Yeah.
Or even there's even shittier ones than that, where like the Detroit police raided a house and they threw a flashbang through a window and it landed on a fucking 3-year-old girl, fucking lit her on fire. And as the police come in, one of them is such a fucking retard. He is holding a submachine gun one-handed, his MP5, and he fucking runs into somebody and discharges a round right into her. Nothing, he got tried, and the jury's like, well, he done be trying. He a policeman.
Yeah. And one of the ones we've covered on this channel, it's kind of a favorite, is Daniel Shaver.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's doing literally everything they ask. He's clearly his pants are getting pulled down by the retarded orders of the police, and his hand reflexively goes down to his waistband to pull up his fucking sweat shorts that aren't holding a gun anyway, and like couldn't. If you tried to put a gun in those things, they would fall off of him, and he gets plugged. And all they had to do was just order him to lay down on his face, put his hands behind his neck, cross his legs, and stay there until they secured the scene behind him. There are plenty of cops do it.
Yes, and honestly, if you ever are in a situation the cops are screaming and yell at you, lay down and put your hands out. Make them decide what they're going to do. Don't play the Simon Says games. Because if you watch the Shaver thing, it is tragic. He starts crying because he knows he's fucked.
Yeah.
Like, I think he knows he's going to get shot.
Yeah.
And then he gets shot. He gets shot by that faggot. And I'll call Philip Brailsford a faggot. You're such a faggot. You got acquitted. And then you jumped on back to... You had PTSD from smoke checking a guy. Then maybe you shouldn't have fucking smoke checked him.
Yeah. No, that Philip Brailsford, that guy is a fucking loser.
Well, David says do what they say, but it's like, get on the ground, put your hands up, get on the ground, don't get on the, like, There are two people screaming at you. Or if you play Simon Says, and if you do it wrong, I'm going to kill you.
And remember, like,
How about I don't?
What they asked him to do is difficult for sober people.
Yeah.
Here's Philip Brailsford. Remember
okay, that's a separate matter. You don't
shouldn't have this on your dust guard.
Yeah, or having like Punisher skulls on your shit. No, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do any of that stuff.
That is not particularly unlawful or against that department's policy. It maybe should be, but just because it looks fucking bad for the cops, but it's not. But no, I mean, the thing that
goes back to a jury. And remember, guys, you're not going to get people like you on a jury. There's not going to be people like me. There's not going to be people like Nick. You're not going to get Matt LaRosiere. You're not going to get Randy Weaver when he's dead.
Go out and
you're going to get Susie fucking soccer mom, who's going to be like, oh my gosh, the fact you shot, like I brought this up with the dumpster defenders. The fact you shot somebody and you got it on, you put in that work, and it wasn't inside your house. I mean, even doing it inside your house, most people, that blows their mind you even killed someone in your house.
How dare you?
Now you killed, most of them wouldn't do it. Or they'd use a baseball bat, or they'd just say, I'd scream at the bad man. It's just,
I'd call the police and they'd save me.
Yeah. The dumpster defenders. He shot a guy in an alleyway, in a dirty alleyway over a mattress.
Yeah, that's the narrative I bought when I read the articles the first time. It took me watching that video about 15 times before I realized, holy shit, he threw a bat at him and he's charging him.
But here's the thing, though. Even then, you've got to because most people, what would the average person say? Why'd you fucking leave? Even if you don't have a do your treat, why are you there? Why are you fighting over that? So great. I'm sure he's sitting there staying in prison right now, getting his asshole cornholed out. Well, I done took care of myself. I'm sure he's like, I fucking want to go home. I should have I should have got home and masturbated in my sweatpants, eating Cheetos like I was doing right before this happened.
That's the life, isn't it?
Yeah.
No,
I'm just saying, like,
it's crazy.
All those guys.
Yeah, it's sure, you might have the right to shoot someone, and I think dumpster defender, like after watching that video several times, I don't think that he provoked that fight. Like I don't
either, but
I get the fight, like the provocation argument. I think he's saying, look, you step near me, I'm gonna kill you. That's a warning. That's not a provocation. He says, take your swing. I'm gonna kill you if you attack me. Don't back. To me, that's a warning, not an invitation.
Yes, but once again, this is where you're going to have to convince people. You're already standing there. You've got a pistol out, and you're to them. It sounds like you're going like, you're already.
You want him to swing so you can shoot him because your fantasy is to shoot a person.
Even if it's not, it's something people haven't. I could go outside and talk to my neighbors about. They'd be like, "You're a fucking lunatic. Why would you do any of that?"
Yep.
Like you're doing this all over a mattress. Like, what kind of fucking retard are you?
And yes, even though I think that he shouldn't be guilty. Yeah. And yes, what kind of fucking retard are you for doing that? But to Sean's point, your jury, guys, go to your Walmart and talk to 12 people. You've just found your jury. Do you trust those people?
It's not even just Walmart people. It's like you're gonna get people who like engineers, nurses, like you might get Cletus Slack, John Yokel, but you're gonna get people like, I was a teacher for 25 years and I'm retired, or I'm an engineer at the local like dildo manufacturer, or whatever. Like,
that guy probably quit you.
Maybe. I design the dildo molds on a CNC
I design exact penile size and shape for maximized pleasure in women and men.
So even if they're highly educated, this is still gonna be. I mean, like, how many people, think about it. How many people carry a gun? How many people own guns? How many people would be willing to go take their gun out into an alleyway to go deal with that problem?
Yeah.
You're already down to you're squeezing down your world. So
it's crazy. So always remember that. Court Eklund says, Nick, been watching since Binger, love the show. My wife and I start our IVF journey this week. I've started up a Warzone stream on Twitch as a means to fundraise, but could use a plug from the Law Pope at Civil Court 11 is the Twitch stream. So guys, if you want to go watch Warzone on Twitch, Civil Court 11, if you like him, throw some dollars his way. IVF is really fucking expensive. You're talking like 20, 25 grand a shot at IVF, and it is a shot. You may not succeed. So if you want to go
Good
support
luck.
that, and brother, look, Lady Rackets and I have been down the fertility journey. As many people may not know or may know, I've talked about it before, but we had 3 miscarriages, followed by before our first kid, we had 3 miscarriages, and then basically 1.5 to 2 years of just no pregnancy. And we're almost at the IVF phase. We were almost there. We got estimates, and we were talking with the doctor about it, and thank God we didn't have to do it. Cheers to you, brother, and good luck on that one. It's extremely expensive.
Yeah, now you're gonna do it, and you're gonna end up with like octuplets. So be careful.
Yeah. Oh, dude, they told us. They said there's no way the first baby we had, because we had the full on like fertility treatment and stuff. So they're like scanning everything. They're like, you have 4 eggs, and they're like, there is no way you're getting 1 child out of this. So do you want to proceed? We're like, yeah, like multiples are like guaranteed. And then the doctor does the ultrasound when we were pregnant. He's like, I don't fucking believe this. What? There's just 1. There's just 1. I was like,
It ate the others.
praise Jesus.
Wow.
I did not want 4 kids at once. We were not ready for that. Oh my God.
It's the opposite of one of my close friends was that they were trying to have kids for, oh my God, almost 10 years, and they couldn't. It was just, and then out of the blue, they have twins. It's just wild. It's like they weren't, but they were excited. They wanted twins, because they were 10 years trying to have. They're a Christian family, they want to have as many kids as possible.
I do not. I mean, props to people who have twins. One child at a time is fucking stressful enough. I cannot imagine like when 2 of them are like, or one of them's having a bad night and then the other one's having a bad night the next night. You're just like, Jesus. Changing 2 of those damn kids at the same time, double everything. When you're fucking your first kid, you're usually fucking poor also. Like, so it's like, oh, good, I have to buy 2 car seats now. Oh, I have to have 2 strollers or a double stroller. Fuck double strollers.
What's the data? What's the data on the firstborn having the highest IQ? I hear that occasionally. Is that true?
I have no idea.
Is that because they're pampered and they pay attention?
Yeah, it's probably
to
because parents just want to commit suicide for the rest of them. No, I don't know.
I hear the oldest, and I'm a retard.
I mean, my first kid is super brilliant in some ways. My second kid is super brilliant in completely different ways. My first kid is very linguistic. He's very musical.
Yeah.
My second kid, very, very mathematic.
Are they homeschooled?
Yeah.
Yeah. My close friend is homeschooled, and she's a genius. I don't know if that's a correlation either. I guess maybe.
We homeschooled. We made the decision to homeschool because at 2 years old, my son was spelling words on a keyboard. He was typing and spelling words, and we're like, "Oh, he can read and spell at 2, and not like hi, right? Like we're talking 4 to 6 letter words that he's typing out
Oh my God.
and spelling and reading. And we're like, okay, if he's 2 and can read, what is he going to do when he's 5 or 6 in kindergarten?" Learning letters. Like, how is that going to work? We can't, and we didn't like do anything. We didn't have flashcards or anything retarded like that. Like, he just picked it up.
Do you have a way of measuring as a homeschool parent the success or progression of your kids versus other kids?
I mean, yeah, you do their achievement, you do achievement tests and standardized testing and shit like that, but yeah, so like my second kid's very mathematical. My first daughter, my third one, she's extremely artistic. She's hilarious. My fourth child is, God, I love her so much. She is the most bipolar. She's a murder factory. I swear she's going to go to prison at some point because she is the most loving thing on earth. And when you cross her, she'll kill you. And then my fifth daughter is, I don't even know, or not my fifth daughter, my fifth child, third daughter. I don't even know. Like she's linguistic like her oldest brother in ways that are terrifying. Like when she describes stuff, I'm like, you are not 5. that's not real, that can't be true. So I mean, who knows with these? You never know with these fucking kids.
Yeah.
But it's not anything we're doing. Like, that's just how they developed. And
Interesting.
you know, but I could not deal, like, if it was twins, I mean, I literally don't know how I would have gotten through,
Wow.
because it's too much work for one kid. So Chris Cola says, no real message to add, just sending some cash your way for the entertainment the past few years. Stay copacetic. Hey, thank you, Chris. Very much appreciate that.
There he is.
TJ says, no cigar, smoke the pipe. Yeah, there you go. Or the poll. Legal Layman says, to the be yourself cope, I'd only ever want to be myself. My struggles and my goals make me inexorably myself. I'd only ever want to take my brother's place to erase any of his burdens. Also, watch my stuff. I mean, I think there's a lot of people who don't want to be themselves, though. Like, people with addictions, people with problems.
Yes.
They want to work on those, and that's fine. That's an okay.
Yeah.
That's an okay thing. Corrections 101 says, hi, Nikki and Sean. Great combo. Now get pegged. Lofty jilted again. Dilligaff says, did 7 years on a 10 for aggravated assault in Texas in 94. Pled guilty. Ventilated a bitch thug for him jumping a friend of mine. From an ex-con to the greatest lawyer ever. I thank you, sir, for educating and maintaining the real law.
Wait, is he talking about me or you?
I think yes is the answer.
Cheers.
Cheers to you, brother.
Yeah.
Look, man, that's the choice, right? Do you sit there and watch your friend get fucking beat to death when you have an option for it? You go, that's justifiable. Blam, blam, blam. And then you end up having to plea out to aggravated assault. And why? You're like, no, it's justified. Fucker deserved it. And then they go, yeah, but if you don't plea out, we're going to put you in for 25. Assault, deadly weapon, aggravated assault, deadly weapon, enhancement. Good luck.
Yeah. Much respect for standing tall regardless.
Damn.
Yeah. That's the risk. I love that. That's one of the fun memes of talking on the right is everybody will shoot whoever. Like, oh, I carry all the time, I'll shoot. And it's like, I hope you don't have to, man. I really hope that that's never the place you're in.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe don't. Yeah.
I always, I just love that because I've done a concealed carry class or two, and I've started off by saying, like, everybody heard I'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6. Everybody says that. I'm like, okay, fine. You go to trial and the jury convicts you. Like, how many people can here do 6 months? And everybody holds their hand up, and I could probably survive 6 months in jail. I might walk a little different afterwards and have a different look on being around burly men, but after that, but hey, that happens. Life happens.
You got the Daffy Duck waddle.
Yeah. Yes. Doing a year, doing 5 years. Like, Daddy, when are you coming home? And you're like, you're stuck behind a window. And yeah, maybe you get to have visitation. 10 years, 20 years, like life without parole. Like, everybody likes to talk shit about that, but I've been at trial. I've dealt with some like guys who are, accused of turning a neighborhood into a bullet festival, or have done some really nasty shit to people. And, they act like they're big and tough, but when the prosecutor turns around and says, that right there, that's the bad man. And everybody in the jury sits there and looks. I've had some of those guys go like, bro, I want to make a deal. Like,
yep.
It's everybody wants to be a gangster until it's time to do gangster shit. And being a gangster means you go to fucking trial and you write it out. So,
yep. Yeah. Because you're not, if you snitch, you're dead. So that's,
hey,
that's that.
Yeah. I have a problem with mainstream media. There's an issue where it's mostly coming from like CNN, MSNBC, and they're like, whenever a person runs from the cops or is resisting arrest, they focus on they essentially focus on the cops going. They don't. What I'm trying to say is, how do we tell people as a society that that you should probably not resist arrest, or else major things could, like, it just incrementally increases your chances of death or bodily harm. And I see people like Don Lemon saying stuff.
I wish
like,
Don Lemon would resist arrest.
It's like whenever there's a shooting or something like that, and then the guy is clearly resisting arrest, the number one talking point from everybody should be saving lives. Please don't resist arrest. Like, am I wrong? Like, isn't that like what we should be telling people to like?
Hey, Lofty, I come up to you. I say, Lofty, get off this fucking walkway. You're like, no, I'm here. I'm on the walkway. I can do whatever the fuck I want. And I go, get off look, I need you to get off this walkway right now, you piece of shit. You're like, no, I didn't do anything wrong. And then I go, okay. And I grab your arm and I twist it behind you, right? To put you in handcuffs. Do you resist?
Wow.
I've got you in an arm bar. Stop resisting, and I'm about to break your arm.
You don't resist?
I don't know.
If I walk up behind you,
you're gonna pull away.
If I walk up behind you right now and I twist your arm and pull it behind you, you will resist.
I mean, if you're a cop, though, I might not.
It doesn't matter.
Try to.
Naturally, you're going to resist.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You're gonna. This is the thing, and like, we can go to Chauvin and Floyd. Ignore Chauvin. Before Chauvin gets there, the first cop pulls Floyd out of the car. He grabs his arm and he starts pulling it behind him. What's he's saying? Stop resisting. I'm not resisting. I'm not resisting. He's twisting his arm, right? You can't not resist that. Your body, it's an unnatural arm movement. You can't, like, unless you're fucking fully relaxed and calm, which no one is when they're being arrested. Like you just can't. And cops will interpret your tension as resistance. They do in every report.
I'm judging based on a lot of video footage that I've seen of where people are clearly going out of their way to resist arrest for no reason. Like that. I'm not talking about what you're describing.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, Lofty. I mean,
maybe.
So yes, there are times where people say I'm not resisting, and they clearly are resisting, and their lines are trying to
all
stall
the
for time.
time.
I get that happens.
Yeah,
but I mean, here's the thing. I mean, but you're trying to tell somebody that person that's all they do is probably lie, and that's their daily thing is they lie about everything all the time. I mean, there's something like if you like a common thing if you're like dealing with criminals and like if depending on the type of classes you've ever taken before, if you deal with a guy and you think he's about to like rob you and you like. If he might ask you if you have a gun, you're like, no, I don't have a gun. And to him, he knows in his world, everybody lies to me. That like, I'm just saying, you're dealing with people who lie all the time. So trying to tell them not to do it, okay, fine. But the other issue is nobody ever gets arrested at a good time. Like if you have a warrant, and I've had to explain this to my clients, your warrant's never going to pop at a good time. Where you're like, oh, I've got 3 days blocked out of my schedule. I don't have to go to work. I don't have my kids in the car.
That's what I'm talking about. Really,
but
it's
you know
like
what?
When you have a warrant
hard.
out for your arrest, and you're
Lofty,
desperate not to go to prison, and you resist arrest to the point where you're pulling a gun, pulling the officer's gun off his belt. Like,
well,
I don't know. We should be encouraging people not to.
If someone's grabbing an officer's gun off their belt, that's different though. That's like.
But Lofty, I guess here's the deal.
Yeah.
Okay, you got your kids in the car. Okay, well, children's service is going to take your kids. You're going to lose your job. You're going to lose everything. Oh, just take your. You know that sounds great.
It sounds great.
Tell that person, hey, bud, you know everything's going away. You're going to start back over again. Just take your kids like a man. It's like I get it, but you're.
Here's the other thing. A lot of
acknowledge
guys.
What you're asking.
A lot of people getting arrested don't think they're doing something wrong. They may be wrong.
Right? I don't know if you're running from a cop. You're
if you're running from a cop, that's different than a lot of resisting arrest. But okay, so we can tell everybody who runs from the cops. Yes, everybody who runs from the cops shouldn't run from the cops. But like at the same time, if they get away, like they're out on a warrant already. Like if they get away, maybe they get away, right? And they leave the state, or they leave the country, or they go to Canada.
Sure, likely they'll get shot though.
Maybe not even just running.
Most people don't run from cops though.
Well,
I mean, get away.
Okay, that's true. Yes, most people get
Most
caught.
people don't get away.
Yeah, but
unless you're in a car.
What's your warrant for?
Even then.
Is your warrant for aggravated assault? Like, because literally, like, if your warrant is for aggravated assault and you're facing 15 years in prison,
what's that dude that started the BLM riots? What's that guy's name? He was
George Floyd.
Reached in his car and grabbed it. No, he reached in his car and grabbed it. It was Kenosha.
Jacob Floyd or Jacob Blake.
Jacob Blake.
Rape of Blake.
That's an example where
he had the knife on him. He didn't reach into his car with the knife.
Oh, okay. He still went into the car though, and that car wasn't his and all that. Yeah.
He should have been shot. He was.
But
he
the
was
narrative from the left is that he was resisting arrest because he was afraid of the cops. And it's like, just, you know, they're almost encouraging people to be afraid of police so that they resist arrest more frequently and get shot more frequently. Like, that's what I'm seeing. That's
Man,
just what I'm seeing.
if I've got a warrant on me,
Yeah,
and I'm facing 15 to 20, I'm
Yeah.
running.
well, I guess that's just a human thing, isn't it?
I mean, like, what?
Well, I mean-
what your odds are? Let's see, 5%. So 1 in 20, I get away, and I can maybe escape the country somehow, or like whatever. And
Yeah.
your alternative is prison for 15 to 20 years on your warrant. I mean, I'm running.
Yeah.
We've created. Like, I don't know the answer. By the way, I don't know how you fix that. But if I know now, if my warrant is 30 days, I'm not running. Like, those are way different scenarios. But fucking hell, if my warrant is for literally 15 to 20 years in prison because I smoked a guy or whatever, or I stabbed someone, then I'm gonna run 10 times out of 10.
What do
Why
you
the
think?
fuck wouldn't
What
I?
do you think? What do you think happens when a black parent is indoctrinating their children or telling their children? Or maybe you think you agree with it, but maybe they're telling their children, "Hey, don't trust the cops. You should be scared of them. You should be terrified of them. You should probably resist arrest." And when there's a generic speeding ticket or something that's like kind of innocuous, and they start panicking, they have hyperventilate, and then they have to. This is a psychological problem that I'm noticing more and more frequently in society. It's like,
Well, I don't
they're
think anybody's
traumatizing their own children. It's like, I'm telling you, I see it all the time.
No, I don't disagree with you there,
Yeah.
and I do agree with the concept that yes, for the people running the left, it does help them to say yes, the cops are a bunch of murderous psychopaths. But on the other hand, you do see the cops, like if you do live in a crime area and you do interact with the police a lot, you see the cops act like a bunch of psychopaths and corrupt assholes. So it's not like this is just completely in a vacuum. I mean, really, the police's worst enemy are the police themselves. And that's a routine thing.
That's
yes,
the tough
if
part
you were
of
to, if you were
authority
to really
anyway.
fix, like, but that's the even easier part is to fix policing. And I'm not saying abolishing the police, but like one of the biggest problems with police departments are accountability issues. Like here in Cleveland, we had an example of where the cop grabbed the guy out of the car and beat the fucking brakes off the guy. And then we find out he was in a department across town, had been deceitful twice and lied during like 2 separate investigations. And they fired him, but like the other department's like, oh, that's cool. Like, you know, the police actually kind of cleaning things up would go a long way. I mean, I've seen cops lie. I've known cops have lied on the stand. I've been in trial before where I know the cop 100% fucking lied. I went to prosecute him like, what the fuck is this?
The funny thing is, every defense attorney who's defended like 2 cases knows cops lying.
Yeah.
I have not defended that many. I've not defended that many, and I've encountered cops lying in multiple cases. So my case record is not long.
So you guys are kind of jaded from where my perspective is.
Well, I'm not jaded.
Totally
I'm telling
different.
you, I'm telling you what it's like in the trench line, and you're
that's what I'm saying.
Like writing about the war, but I'm like, bro, I'm sitting here like in the trench.
Yeah, it's not my fault. I'm not a lawyer.
No, I'm not saying
just,
like you're not. I'm just saying it's
it's interesting though. I mean, the narrative is getting blurred. There's blurred lines all over the fucking place.
And I mean, look, it's the inherent authority problem, right? Any fuck up by authority is exceptionally egregious. It's worse than any other fuck up, because like if you're just a guy and you fuck up, okay, you fucked up. You didn't have any special responsibility, duty, or authority. But an authority, a cop is supposed to be right, because if he's wrong, he takes someone's life, liberty, or property.
Yes,
right?
I agree.
So any fuck up by a cop is exceptionally bad. And I know all of you fucking cop dick suckers and bootlickers out there can sit there and be like, no, blah, 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 blah. They make mistakes. They're just human. They're not human anymore. They're not people. They're not allowed to be people. They are the state. The state is not a person. They are imbued with authority to walk into your house, be startled by you being in your house, and kill you.
Yeah.
With impunity, with literal fucking impunity. They can walk into your house, be startled by you, and kill you. You can't do that anywhere else. Only them, because they're imbued with special authority. We have to hold them to a higher standard. They have to be right. They have to be perfect. And every time they're not perfect is broadcast or needs to be broadcast to everyone as a warning of what authority looks like. Because if we get so fucking lax that we will fist ourselves with the thin blue line all fucking day, like Republicans, by the way, have been doing for the past 40 years, and look where it got you on January 6th. Look where it got you during the Summer of Love. Look where it got Kyle Rittenhouse in Kenosha. Look where it got every
Look where it got you during Hurricane Katrina. I'm just taking your guns. We were told to do it. Sorry.
Yeah, well, that guy today was charged and taken in New York City, right? He should have probably
well, you know what?
Living somewhere else where the cops are actually where you can feel comfortable and proud backing the blue.
Yeah,
don't go to fucking New York City.
Well, there is nowhere you should be comfortable and proud backing the blue. Cops, look, cops are people. You should have general human decency towards them, but recognize what they are.
Places where there's certain states and places where you will or will not be charged with a crime depending on where you live. Like that's got to be a thing. I mean,
well, Philadelphia
New York City to me seems.
Philadelphia, San Francisco, LA, they don't charge for shoplifting under $900 or whatever.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, move out of city.
But maybe
move out of a city. Okay,
but what if they do?
You move out of a city. Do you realize rural law enforcement is very corrupt in a lot of places? I mean,
I guess
that's a thing. I mean, I'm just saying. For example, there's an attorney called the civil rights lawyer, John Bryant, really awesome guy. He basically works only in West Virginia, and you see in these little towns, the little cops, and they are in the the Memorial Day parade throwing candy, and everybody loves the cop, and somebody flips him off, and he drags the guy in the car and beats the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
So it's there is officer friendly is propaganda. You're dealing with one of the king's men, and his job is to enforce law.
I just want to point out though, if you're in Philadelphia, LA or San Francisco, and you steal $800 worth of property from a Walgreens, and you get arrested, and you get booked, and you get brought into court, and you say, "I thought they didn't arrest people for under $900." Guess what? You're still going to jail.
Yeah,
you're still going to get convicted. They have the policy that they're not going to do that, but if there's a cop who's bored, he can still enforce that.
Yeah.
That can still happen.
Well, I'm just saying though, the concept of officer friendly, Andy Griffith. Maybe he's nice to Otis, but there's also a good chance he beats the fuck out of Otis. Or if you come into town, you're like, well, I got a Fourth Amendment right. There's a very good chance as soon as you mention the Fourth Amendment, he is going to crack your chiclets with a nightstick. That. I'm just saying, officer friendly could beat you with a phone book to get a confession out of you.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a cultural element to this that's hard to ignore. Maybe that's kind of where I'm thinking of. It's there's people in this country that are advocating for abolishing the police entirely, and it's hard. No, I don't want to back the blue. That's stupid. It's
that said, though, I
understand what you're saying.
We get to shoot people.
No, I understand what you're saying.
That would be so much fun.
But there are people that I've talked to, people that exist in real life that think that police shouldn't exist. Period. And it's and they think social workers should respond to domestic violence. It's like they're fucking wild. They're insane. They don't know what they're talking about. But
let me take the hard position on that.
You get to become the warlord of your neighborhood then.
Look, there was a guy in my city. I'm not going to name where it is because then you'll know what it is. But there's a guy in my city. There was a domestic BLM riot spawned from it because fake news was he's 14, but really he was 23. And he came out. Cops show up to a domestic abuse situation at a house. He came out sprinting out of the house with a knife. Cops kill him. And there was misinformation. 14-year-old autistic kid, blah, 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 blah. Thousands of dollars worth of damage. Turns out he was 23 because misinformation. But it's if social workers showed up, that person would have been stabbed to death.
Let me take the
I'm
tough
fine with that because I hate
social
workers too.
Well, then
that's let me take the devil's advocate position on here.
You can't say that a social worker should die.
Why?
Okay, well, if you want to morbid curiosity,
that sounds like such a shame.
Lofty, how many times? Chuck Liddell. Okay, Chuck Liddell. You know Chuck Liddell?
Yes, I like Randy.
Do you remember
Couture.
when he got arrested for? You know when he
got
arrested for domestic violence? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Did he do it?
Dude, I don't remember that specifically. But
Chuck Liddell did not hit his wife.
I don't think he. Okay.
You know why?
I don't remember.
You know
that.
how we know Chuck Liddell didn't hit his wife?
Because she would have been dead.
Because one, yes, but two, everyone knew Chuck Liddell didn't hit his wife. But that state has a mandatory arrest policy for domestic violence.
Okay.
Domestic violence report, cop shows up, has to make an arrest. Chuck Liddell says, well, I'm not going to send baby girl to prison or to jail overnight. I'll go.
Is that what happened with Jonathan Majors? You think,
I have no idea who.
Okay, sorry.
But I'm just saying, like, when you have a cop go out,
yeah.
Remember what a cop's job is. Everybody thinks that cops are interventionists. No, they're not. They're bad interventionists. They're bad at de-escalation. They're bad at all of these things. Yeah. They're great investigators. Cops' jobs are to find evidence of crimes. When cops show up to domestics, they're not looking to figure out the situation. They're looking for evidence of domestic violence and to make an arrest if necessary. And they will pressure one party or the other to state that the other party made them afraid, so that there's now a domestic assault, whether or not a domestic assault occurred.
The problem is it's inconsistent, because I've seen many, many, many examples of cops showing up and going, I don't have enough evidence. There's nothing really. And then people are complaining. They're like, oh, you got to arrest this guy. He's like, there's not enough evidence. And then they just walk away. I've seen that happen all the time. I mean,
I'm just saying that a social worker showing up after most domestic violence incidents is not much different than a cop in effectiveness, because most of the time they show up after the incident is over. Now, yes, we can find the one-off instances where you have a crazy person run out with a knife. Absolutely, that can happen. But and I'm not saying that this should be the policy either. I'm not saying we should send social workers. I'm just saying there's a compelling argument to say, cops aren't that useful at domestics, because usually when a cop shows up, the person's either already dead.
Do you know Brandon
or
Tatum?
Already battered?
Do you know Brandon Tatum?
I know who he is. Yeah.
His
Tatum,
whole
right?
thing. Yeah. Officer Tatum. His whole thing is the police would work together with social workers in a situation where the cops would show up. And then when everything was under control, if no arrests, if nobody was being violent or aggressive, social workers would show up and they would take over, what's it called? Jurisdiction or whatever. And they would work together in this weird kind of amalgamous thing. Maybe that could work. I don't know. But like for
everybody asking me to talk to someone who routinely simps for cops on this, no, I already know their take. No, like what? Again, if you can simp for the state all you want, I never will. Again, the number of times cops show up to a domestic and there's ongoing violence is almost zero. They're not fast enough to get there.
Yeah.
That's just the reality. And again, should social workers show up? I don't know. I don't think cops do all that bad of a job on domestic calls, personally.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that they're particularly bad and that will solve everything. I'm just saying, like, you can make arguments that cops are effectively useless on like 99% of domestics.
That's
and I
fair.
think cops would probably agree on that. Like, most of the times they show up, they do their investigative work. They try and figure out what the fuck happened as they clean up the mess. And then they make an arrest or not. Like, offloading that to social workers isn't going to change much of anything. I don't think it's particularly useful. And I don't think that's what's overburdening cops. Like, oh my God, there's just too many domestics out there. Not really.
What do you think about the disarmament of cops or the people?
I'm all for that.
The
cops should have the weapons that you are allowed to own. So if you live in a shitty state like California, hey, guess what? 10-round magazines, you motherfuckers.
But aren't you doing that just to send a message? You don't really believe that, do you?
Oh no, I 100% believe that.
Okay.
Oh no. Dude, I got a fucking rocket launcher sitting behind me. You think I'm like, no, I'm all about that.
I'm saying realistically, everybody should have as much firepower as humanly possible.
You mean like, am I worried that would get cops killed?
Yes.
Too fucking bad. You got life insurance policies and pensions. Oh well.
Yeah, but you're just making a point, right? You're being ironic.
No, I understand
it's a
philosophical standpoint.
I know exactly what you're saying, and personally, I think everybody should be armed to the fullest possible extent.
Yes.
But if you're being a hypocrite, you're pointing out the hypocrisy, which makes sense, right? You're saying, however, logically speaking, the cops aren't going to do that, and they're going to expose their own hypocrisy because they know they're going to fucking die because criminals don't give a fuck about obeying the law. So that to me is proof. That is the most obvious reason why everybody should be armed to the fullest possible
Yeah.
like, extent of the. We should be allowed to have anything we fucking want to have.
I understand, but you know, they are the apparatus of the state, so it's like, you know.
But I don't think they should be disarmed. Yeah, unless you're talking about reacting to whatever political establishment is disarming the public.
I frankly don't care if cops are armed or disarmed. Like I don't see a difference. I still don't trust them.
So if the public is not disarmed, let's say we have really, really strong gun rights protection.
And literally, the police is an investigatory force. It wasn't designed as an investigatory force. Their job is to serve and affect warrants, and their job is to investigate crimes. Their job is not interventionism.
But they do, like you saw.
I don't give a fuck what they do.
The Nashville school shooting, right? You saw how quickly they reacted. Imagine if they didn't have guns, and imagine if they didn't exist, and we had to call a SWAT team, which would take an hour to get there. Like, just imagine, like, can we just acknowledge that, like, there are situations?
Oh, those guys did God's work. Yeah, they dispatched that troon. I love it. I love the fact that Z-Zer got dropped by probably a 55 grain boat-tailed hollow point. And then I love the fact that second cop came up and anchor shot the fuck out of her, out of the non-binary otherkin. Like, that was just like, I've seen the unblurred video. God. It's fucking dope. Dude leaves around the corner and just bop, like, what's not to love?
I'm not that morbid. I don't watch uncensored videos. I don't know about you guys. I don't like that.
I don't. It's kind of like that, but here's the deal. Like, if you're going to talk about violence, you should. That's the, you talk about the cops doing their job. That's the sausage you want to, like, you're advocating for being made. You should watch that.
Oh, I know.
Like, that's the sausage you're talking about.
Well, I've seen enough of it. I don't need people to be spamming it on Twitter while I'm eating my pancakes in the morning.
Get over it, you fucking pansy.
Oh, come on. If you can't jack off to an ISIS video, I don't know what to tell you, brother.
Disgusting. Did you see that plowing vehicle into the crowd of people in whatever, New Mexico? Oh my God.
There's a Texas.
Disgusting.
Yes.
I watched it. I didn't try to watch it, but I was scrolling through Twitter. I was literally eating pancakes. And I was like, well, there's a guy with no leg. And then I just scrolled past it and I was like, almost lost my appetite.
I'll eat spaghetti. I'll do it in front of eating spaghetti. That'll be fine.
Okay, Dreg says I gotta send him the link on Twitter because apparently he doesn't check his fucking Facebook messages.
No, and I get what you're saying ultimately, Lofty, but it's
Greg sends me shit on Facebook, so I send him the fucking link on
Facebook. Does he send you chain letters on Facebook? Send this on to 10 people and you'll have good luck today.
Fandom told me to email him. I was like, I'm not gonna fucking email you. Everybody's on Twitter. What the fuck are you talking about?
He's like Darkside Phil. You gotta send me an email.
Darkside Phil. I called him that and he was like, no, everybody uses, he's like, email is the most appropriate way to fuck off.
Look,
no, it's not. I mean, yes, for like my job, it's an appropriate email. Like I've sent like, people like, hey, I'm emailing you this nasty gram and it's already in the mail, but here you go. But otherwise, no, like I don't.
What's up, Nick? What are you trying to say?
I'm just saying, like, look,
also people calling Lofty like he's dressed like a commie. That's a Green Beret. That's a Vietnam era flash on his thing.
Yeah, come on, I'm Colonel Kurtz right here. Except
I just look, cops do one thing they're not intended to do because we decided that maybe we had a peacekeeping force. Everybody's been fucking brainwashed into like this pro cop, tough on crime stance of the right. And I'm just saying, like, as someone on the right who generally loves a lot of stuff, it has been one of the most embarrassingly inconsistent takes that has routinely and repeatedly shown that the state does not like the right. The state actively hates the right, especially right now. And like, if you
the right are useful idiots,
like you could be pro cop all day, but the odds are, the real stats, not the propagandized stats, is there's a 50-50 chance the guy showing up to your door is far left. That cop, there's no guarantee that the cop that shows up at your door or asks you for fundraising or whatever is based and right-wing pilled like you are. And the idea that Republicans are consistently suckered into this is baffling to me when we see it over and over and over again. They do not have a healthy disrespect of the state. And they'll say, oh, lolbertarians, fagbertarians. Well, yes, 100% all day. Call me a libertarian. Never, ever fucking call me a Republican again. I will speak at Republican. I've been invited to speak at Republican conventions. I'm going to, and I'm going to tell them that libertarianism is the right way until you fucking losers learn to stop simping for the goddamn state. Every opportunity you get there. We hate taxes. We hate tax. We love everything taxes pay for. Please police me more. Speaking of the police, I got to bring on a guy with a super police stash. What's up, Dick?
Hold on real quick. Nick.
Hey, Dick.
Hey, Dick. Libertarianism, gay, right-wing reactionary is the way to go, guys.
That's right.
You're like the only libertarian that would show up at these things.
Of course.
Is there a libertarian in here? Is that
That's
what I
me.
smell?
Right above you.
Libertarian, yeah.
Oh, you filthy libertarians. I bet
The
you
Chileans were right. Start the fucking rotors.
I bet you just love being right all the time, you disgusting libertarian.
And by the way, I'm not a Libertarian Party member. That's extra gay.
Oh, are you capital L or lowercase L? Oh boy, you fucking libertarians.
Small
You're
L.
so hard to pin down.
Small L.
Just what do you believe besides no government do you believe? It's so
Nothing.
impossible.
There's nothing better than no government, Dick.
Lolberts will tell you that the government has caused pretty much every problem that we have on both sides. These dumb Lolberts, you can tell them things and they won't just react. They won't react mindlessly and start screaming for someone to go to jail. These stupid Lolberts over here. Get a load of these fucking guys. Hey, what's up, guys?
Welcome, buddy. How you doing?
Your energy is lit like 24/7 Sonic the Hedgehog.
Thank you. I'm not even on drugs. Can you
He's
believe
still off that Ralph
I
high.
don't believe it.
What are you doing wrong in your life if you're not on drugs right now?
I'm not on drugs right now. Well, alcohol is not a drug, right?
That's
Can we all
true.
agree?
No, it's not.
Can we all agree?
I'm on my third
Yeah.
vodka.
I'm gonna drop another one.
We'd have to change a lot of our judgments if alcohol was officially registered by men as a drug.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Don't.
I went
please.
to a speakeasy last week. I have a cool speakeasy.
Did you get a hand job from a guy named Earl?
I was going to ask if it was a gay speakeasy or a liquor speakeasy.
Well, yeah, that's yes.
No.
Speaking easy.
You actually have to go to
I love
speakeasies now
these.
if you're straight and you don't
Yes.
believe in transgenderism.
Yes, you have to
No, yeah, you're right.
Are you,
You know what?
not? Are you still not trans-pilled, Nick? Are
I'm
you
not trans.
still?
No, like I go in and they're like, "What's the password?" I'm like, "Y chromosomes," and they let me in. And I sit down and I'm like, "I'll have a binary, please." A binary is just a vodka mixed with a whiskey.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
funny.
Nick, didn't you have a
Wasn't
debate with
funny.
a bunch of lawyers about that time? Or what
No,
am
I debated
remembering?
them on abortion.
Abortion. That's what it was. And
You debated-
You were based
well-
in Red Pilled. I love that. I was simping.
I
for you during
destroyed
this
3 lawyers on abortion. I was correct.
Yes.
Well,
That was
More
very
abortion,
complicated,
right?
by the way.
There's no
Gotta
okay.
get-
Wait,
we got to get rid of these fucking.
one guy was a lawyer.
lawyers.
the one guy was a lawyer, but the guy wearing like the black like fisherman
were-
hat and
There were 2 lawyers and one who had just graduated. He was
Yeah.
just graduated, but he hadn't passed the bar yet.
yeah, it was all fucking. It's like law review and like hypothetical shit. It's like
Yeah.
They
yeah,
got-
that,
they
that was
got-
great.
They got
They got
defeated by the Libertarian facts and logic people.
Yes.
It just dropped right on their
Yes,
throats.
Dude,
I'm
a lot of
making a well-reasoned argument. The court says, "Don't give a fuck." What's your next step?
I bought them all Plan B afterwards.
Yes,
I remember watching that and I was thinking, dude, 90% of the people watching this are not going to understand what you're talking about because you guys were
No.
very heavy into the law.
you got
and like,
you fucking got the destiny though. I'll tell you that much.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Changed
saw
him-
that
you
too.
changed his mind a little bit.
That's good. That was good. Destiny's a good guy. I think he's a guy. I don't know. Does he have a Y chromosome?
Yes.
Yeah, he has a big Y chromosome.
I don't know what that means. What
I
does
mean,
that mean?
like all of Destiny's life is very manly. When you look at it, it's like, oh man, what do you do? Why are you doing that? Like, yeah, exactly.
I don't know the amount of money he has. I guess I'd let people question me too, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Does he make a lot of
Question you-
money?
Yes,
yeah,
dude. He got
does?
lead
Are you
in top 10 on Twitch. Top 10
Yeah,
on
dude,
Twitch.
he's like he's on
Podcasters are
SpaghettiOs.
unemployed. Didn't he get banned from Twitch?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, podcasters are unemployed. Didn't you guys listening to Stephen King? You fucking
You're right.
losers.
Yeah, you're all unemployed. What a dumbass.
Lofty, what do you like? A cartoon? What's going on here?
Yeah, I'm in Vietnam right now. I got the smell of napalm behind me, and
It's like Red Dawn. Is that what you're doing?
The napalm smell is actually just
Sure.
warming KY jelly.
Up your ass. Yeah, okay, I got it. I
I
get
love
it.
the quote. Oh, have you seen Apocalypse Now?
Dick, I'm so happy you're here to explain all my jokes.
They worked
fucking
though.
bastard.
These
Have you
fucking
seen-
lawbirds. These lawbirds don't even get jokes. These lawbirds.
Oh shit.
That's the slur. That's the slur to just not reacting like a fucking moron over everything.
Yes.
Oh yeah, what would you do that? Well, I don't think that's a good idea. Lawbert, this
Yeah.
fucking lawbert.
Yeah, like I don't know that drugs should actually be illegal. Where are
Lawbert,
you?
typical lawbert. You
Lawbertarian?
lawbert. It's
Nick,
a fucking
you-
lawbert.
You like to be a libertarian, but what kind of roads are you gonna drive your Mustang on, huh?
I don't know.
Ooh, that's fucking right. Checkmate.
I have no idea how roads could ever be constructed. I mean, I don't know of any
That's
business that would have
join
any
me. Start
interest
throwing
in
communists
making
out
a
of
road.
helicopters. That's the only way.
No.
Oh shit, Dick, you got a simp in the chat already.
Oh, I do. Who?
Gorlock the Destroyer.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
Dick can be
She
my
sounds hot.
master.
That okay? Wait, I'm almost 100%. That person's a
Dude.
transgender woman, right?
Who's
Yeah.
Dick?
Which means he's a man. No,
Yeah,
no, no. Gorlock
No,
it
Gorlock
means
the
you're-
Destroyer.
like the Destroyer.
Did you
Yes.
No,
see that,
that's what I
Lofty?
wait. That's what I started
What?
with.
No, I
Nick, are you still on the
I don't know what you're
trans
talking
pill after women have taken so
Yes.
much from us, and the only thing that they really have are their bathrooms.
That's
Do
true.
you know what I mean? Like they have nothing else in life. What are we going to take over
Dick's
CVS?
super pro trans now because
Dick,
he wants their
I
Black
have a
people
problem.
taking over CVS. The only thing women have are their fucking bathrooms. So that is the whole. You got to think
So
big
I was
picture, man.
here's what I know. I was at a my daughters have dance recitals over the weekend. So my weekend is toast. I'm done.
With men,
No. Just it's
okay.
all
It's
girls.
busy.
But I went to the
Interesting.
bathroom. I went to the bathroom after the dress rehearsal tonight.
Mhm.
And a kid walked into the bathroom before me. His mom walked into her bathroom and he walked into the men's bathroom, even though he's a boy. So that was really weird. And hey, what's up? What's up, Drex? How you doing?
Oh,
Drax!
Drax, what up, brother?
Hey, buddy.
Oh my god, eating like a fucking
What do you
Maybe
mean,
both
fucking
got beret-
bangles?
Yeah,
Both
yeah.
got berets
Come
on.
on, have some self-respect for yourself. Eat off
All right.
like I do.
Yo, turn your beret sideways, buddy, like mine.
Can you like finish chewing? Like what the hell?
I got Nutter butter with.
Oh, I bet
Butter,
you're
what are
chewing
you,
on that.
5 years
Chewing
old.
on that nut. I bet you are, Drex.
Yeah.
Sean,
So
how you
I-
doing?
I'm doing
And
good,
Lofty.
baby.
Hey, what's
So
up,
I
buddy?
go into this bathroom
Oh.
and this little kid walks in before me, like 5 seconds before me. I open the door. He's just right in front of the door, pissing on the floor.
No.
Awesome.
Like just
That's awesome.
pissing all over the floor.
Yeah.
And I walk in and he turns back. The kid's like, I don't know, 6 or 7
Dude,
years
I would have
old.
walked out right away.
He looks at me like he was facing the other way. He turns around, he goes, "Oh, sorry." And then he walks over to the urinal and finishes pissing in the urinal. And I'm like, what the hell was I'm like, you're good, man. I don't care. Like, I don't care, but I just took the big step over the arc of piss because he wasn't just pissing forward. He was spraying like a sprinkler around in a semicircle. I'm like, what is this? What the fuck is going on? I've never in my
Oh
life
my God.
encountered.
No.
You didn't do
This.
that?
No.
No,
I
No,
did that
God.
all the time when I was in 5th grade and
Hates his
6th grade.
school.
I did that all the fucking time. It was awesome.
He hates his fucking school.
It wasn't even a
dated-
school. It was a public. Well, it was a public building, so I guess I agree with him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
pissing
dude,
on government
I'll
property.
still do that. Go in and just spin around and piss
Little
everywhere. It's awesome.
Fucking Lawbert, little shitty
Yeah.
Lawbertarian.
Fucking
I'll be
Lawbert.
one.
What a joke. Look at this Lawbert simping
Come
for
provide me a toilet.
piss
Fuck them.
bathrooms.
It was so fucking weird. And he's like,
God,
he's like,
dude, that's
I-
creepy. I'd have
I
walked
think he's-
out at that
he's-
point.
Like he knew he was doing something wrong, but so he's like, oh, sorry, and then goes to the urinal.
So
And
he
he was
was walking and pissing at the same time.
No, he was standing there, pissing in a like in an
Funnier.
arc. Like he was like when you draw
Yeah.
a circle with salt on the ground around
Oh,
you to keep
Jesus.
demons away. I think that's what he was doing.
Yeah, that's
It was
normal.
so weird. And so then but it was like the piss was in an obvious place. I could just step over it. And then I was like, I hope he leaves before I do, so I don't have to like try and figure out this is weird to navigate. And then he
Oh.
did. He left, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I left, and he went right over to his mom like nothing happened.
Wow.
dude, a kid that weird, I would have been like, nope, I'm not even going to be in the same room as this kid alone. I'll hold it. I'll risk pissing my pants.
You didn't tell anybody
Fuck
there's
that.
piss on the floor?
Right?
I don't give a shit about
That's
the fucking
hilarious.
bathroom.
Sean,
and
you
the
don't
fucking
understand.
A kid like that could say, "Mommy, that guy touched me. I am not fucking doing
Oh.
that."
That's true.
Lofty's like, wait, you didn't report the piss to the piss police?
Fuck yeah.
Have
No,
you been
fuck
listening
the
to this
police.
conversation?
Yeah.
I used to work
Lofty?
retail
I
for
ain't
like 6
snitching.
years. I worked retail for a long time. I would appreciate if a customer told me that.
Oh my god.
Why?
That's still
Someone
my
else could
brain.
clean
That's how
it
my
up.
brain works. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I don't know.
I'm a
you.
retail slave.
I don't give a shit
Slave
about what
mentality,
happens
man.
Wagey.
anywhere.
Wagey. Might as well go work for fucking Daily Wire. Anyway,
Okay, so I'm trying to get off of YouTube because I've spent on here way too long. Go for Big Guy
You're
911.
still on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
I didn't know
the
either.
fuck?
We've
a
been
lot of
shitting on
people are
Fox
watching
forever.
us.
So hold on. I'm gonna read through this real quick. Go for Big Guy. Says, hey Nick, can I get a cheers to Wall's new thought crime watch list and red flag law that just passed? As a former LEO, death to all tyrants and their enforcers. Here's to being enemy number one in Timmy's state enemies dossier. Yes, Minnesota has just passed the law creating a list of hate speech makers. I hope to be at the fucking top of it. You faggot, fairy pieces of shit, tranny assholes. Fuck you, Tim Walz, right in your faggot ass. There.
Thank God.
Yes. Yeah, so the Farm and Labor Party, I've got a helicopter for
This
you
doesn't
cocksuckers.
sound like you mean it.
F slurs. F slurs.
Sorry, I don't
Look, I'm
want to be
just-
that guy.
I'm
but
just trying to get on the list, Dick. Leave me alone.
I know.
Don't
I
blow
just
my
don't.
cover.
I just don't believe that you hate gay people when you say.
I don't
it.
hate gay people. I hate Tim Walz.
Oh,
He just
okay.
happens to be
Dick,
gay.
you realize when people say
Speaking
the
of
F
walls,
slur-
Nick.
He belongs on it. Get on it. Slosher says the answer to 1917 is 1973. Sean can explain it.
Ooh, that's a good movie. 1917.
Here we go.
We're not talking about that. Well,
Roscoe says the toast.
1973 is when God sent a man to do God's work, and he achieved his goals. He brought us a kingdom of heaven.
1973 was a good year for movies.
Talking
He
about
brought us-
Hitler or what?
The Exorcist.
No, but he brought us a
came out.
kingdom of heaven to a very quaint mountainous country in South America called Chile.
Oh fuck.
Yes, he
Jim
sent his
Jones?
prophet. No, that was in
I
French
think you are
Guiana.
talking about
No,
Hitler.
that was in French Guiana. No, I'm talking about his prophet Augusto Pinochet.
Oh,
Yes.
Pinochet, yes.
Nick, why is Gorlock the Destroyer in your chat?
Look,
Mexican Hitler.
Gorlock
Here for you,
knows-
Drex. Here for you,
Gorlock
Drex.
knows where the hotness is.
I can't. With,
She
I
wants that
can't with
BBC.
Gorlock.
I told her you were coming. She said, all over my man tits, I hope.
Hmm.
No, actually, Dick, to answer your question, I don't give a shit about trans people. Like, either way, completely neutral on it. I
No,
don't
you
want
should
them.
be pro because they're
You said
they're
that
messing
on-
up women's
said that on
bathrooms.
Moon.
Well,
what I'm
that's the
saying.
cool thing. We're so good at being women. All you bitches out there, we're better at than you are. That's the cool thing.
I just don't want anybody to fuck around with kids like that. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want anybody.
Who cares? Fuck kids. They're all they're messing up
I thought you
movies.
told Vito to stop saying fuck kids.
Yeah, you just
yeah,
triggered
I can
Vito
say
with that
that because
shit.
I'm good looking. Vito can't say that because he's fat. I could say that.
Satan will be
Oh
with
my god.
I could say basically whatever I want, and people are like, "Oh yeah, that guy fucks kids. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
he works out all day.
Hey,
and fucks kids.
it worked for
Yeah, I
Epstein.
believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Very
have little
good.
fucking baby teeth like Epstein. I have big, boogie, chiclet teeth, so no one would believe that I'm a fucking pedophile. You see that? No pedophile right here.
Big, beautiful teeth, wonderful teeth. I've never seen teeth like his, frankly. Roscoe.
Never seen him like it.
Roscoe says, a toast to Marlo, a loyal friend and gentle companion for 9 years. He was a good dog, even if he drooled on everything. And Tony, he was 200 pounds. Cheers to Marlo, a big boy, a good boy. I don't know how you do it, man, but you did it, and he was your buddy. Cheers to his passing.
Toast. Oh my god, I
What
have
breed
dogs.
dog
I
was that at
fucking hate
200
that shit.
pounds?
His wife. Cult of personality says,
Woof.
think they're gonna end up convicting Daniel Penny. I don't know. I have no
Yes.
idea.
It's-
Probably.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
might be making license plates, maybe.
Andrew
They
Murit
convicted
said-
Trump of just being Trump. So yeah, they're gonna convict Daniel Perry of stopping the homeless menace.
That conviction, that civil suit, whatever the fuck, it was even less exciting than the impeachment. Like, what the? Does anybody give a fuck?
No, like literally nobody.
Like,
Wait,
the news like
Trump's?
came and went. Yeah, the
Yeah,
news
like
kinda
the
came
bitch
and
that
went.
was
It was
like-
oh,
the chick that was like, yeah, I think rape is sexy. Remember her on CNN with Anderson Cooper?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She was like, I rape is sexy. And then she was like, he was like, oh, did you panic? She was like, no, I was too excited to panic.
damn,
Like she fucking said all this shit on live television.
unreal.
Like, what is going on? Anyway,
It's
she's
Orange
wild.
Man bad.
Nobody cares.
Andrew Murrett. Hey, Nick, can you give me a quick toast? I just graduated with my bachelor's in chemical engineering. Cheers, buddy.
Holy shit, a real
way
degree.
Way
Yeah.
to get a bachelor's that'll earn you more than most master's degrees. Go for it.
Based.
Lofty Pixels Baldo says, Nick, tell Lofty he forgot me at Yellow Flash's house.
Oh fuck! Thanks for the Baldo, buddy.
Lofty, do you want me to send you a Vibaldo?
No, I don't.
You don't want a vibrating Baldo?
Don't do
No, I
baldos.
don't.
Stop this baldo shit. That's enough.
Why are you such a pussy,
It's
Dick?
over. It's no. I'm not.
No,
Baldo's
Dick.
I'm not
They have
out
a
here
new
to
one
talk
now.
about
It's like fetch.
baldos.
Fetch
The
is over.
vibrating
Dick,
one, the
There's the
Vibaldo. That's-
Vibraldo.
that's
Like
what I
it
It's
was-
the
hurt.
vibrating baldo.
A vibraldo? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
A Braldo.
Yeah, that's his
Sounds like
call.
a singing voice.
Sounds like that would hurt.
It's
I don't know.
also longer for deeper penetration for these guys with small balls. Almond John 1 says, first time, Lofty, haven't you been on Nick's Flashcast?
Yeah.
I don't know if you you were on my Flashcast?
One time.
Okay, so
One
second
time.
time then. Cedar Rose says, Lofty, show face. Yeah, you
No,
coward.
I don't have a
He is right
fucking
now.
camera. You saw me. Just go to fucking Twitter.
How do
I
you,
got the-
I mean, how does your VTuber avatar work if you don't have a camera? I thought you
Yeah.
had to have some camera.
Dun
my-
dun dun.
my mouse.
Oh, really? You're controlling
scrolling
your.
Wait, what?
No,
Yeah.
he's lying.
You're
It's all a
controlling.
lie.
I don't believe you.
Left, right, left, right. It's my mouse. It's my
That's-
mouse.
God, that's
And-
gayer
Oh,
than
no.
you. Bad Dragonite says, to be honest, you hope the wild ones have semen on their hands. That's true. TJ says, no cigar smoke the pipe. 6079 Smith W. Just want to hear my favorite lawyers say my favorite legal phrase, res ipsa loquitur, which of course means the duck talks too much. Okay. Joel Reese, have you heard about the estranged half brother and half sister in Spain that met, clicked, and had 2 kids? What a nice abomination of a family. Isn't that Anna?
Ugh.
No, that's Portuguese. Anna's Portuguese. Never mind. Summer, it's 19. Lofty, Nick, Sean, great get together. The Under Armour gamer, you should interview Larry Lawton. Brian says, what legal experience does the VTuber have?
That would be a pretty cool interview.
None, but I've debated legal mindset one time.
Do you know
That's
who
why-
Larry
there you go.
Lawton is, Nick?
Yeah, he's the jewel thief.
Yeah,
Famous
yeah,
jewel
it's pretty
thief.
cool.
Yeah, I'd love to. Nagardnal says, I shared this on Twitter and got a warning on my tweet. I tagged you with the screenshots. Cheers.
Yeah, dude. There's a
okay.
warning under your stream link.
Hmm?
There's a warning under your current stream link of this stream.
This stream?
What's the warning?
Yes. Yes.
What the fuck would the warning be?
Don't know. There's a warning under it.
Hold on, I gotta see what if I click on my own thing, I should be able to see it, right?
It says I looked at it. It says
I don't see a warning.
hold on.
Maybe I can't see it on my own thing.
Mercado law, unemployment. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, Lofty Pixels, criminal. It says we put a warning on this tweet because it might have sensitive content. It's on Twitter.
What the fuck? Huh?
Oh shit. Have you guys seen the clown that hides from gay people?
Wait,
Is
the
that Nick
what?
Mercado?
No.
You haven't seen the clown that hides from gay people?
No.
Is this like the ghost,
Oh.
Pennywise.
the ghost who
hates
doesn't
gays.
lie?
Pennywise hates gays. Just ask Stephen King. He wrote it into the fucking book.
He hates
What?
gays, but he likes watching little kids fuck.
What the fuck is
No, it's
going
true.
on?
Stephen King was homophobic, dude. He wrote it. He
I
wrote
never-
about.
He really
he
did
wrote
write about little kids
Pennywise
fucking, though.
killing
Yeah.
homophobes.
But I haven't heard about that. We'll have to talk about it on
Yeah,
fucking
we'll have to
Mm.
talk about
Rumble.
it on
Drop
Rumble.
Barracuda. Pro tip, meth heads can drink their pee and get off on it again because the body doesn't break it down 100% and actually concentrates it before passing it. There you go. Meth heads, look, you can get a double.
Fuck.
Bear Lamb says, anyone who goes to prison for a long time is going to snitch on everybody to get out early. I don't think I'd ever do meth. I don't know. I've heard it's just like you being awake, but not anything else. Like no euphoria, no cool stuff. It's just like you're up. But doesn't sound good to me.
Well, that's
Zero-
probably not. That's probably not accurate, Nick.
Look, I don't know. How many people in the chat have done
It's
meth?
not just being awake.
Yeah, well, that might maybe that's how you feel, but the
I
way in
think it's like
reality
doing
is,
coke for like 14 hours straight.
yeah,
But like Coke comes with good stuff, right? Like Coke comes with like euphoria and good
Coke comes
feelings and
with the hookers.
positivity.
Yeah.
and a bunch of hookers.
And
Yeah.
like thinking you have to shit for 3 hours.
Zero Empathy says, I sold weed, got a $500,000 bail, $5,000 to get out. Went to my first court date. Judge tossed my bail, threw me back in, had to pay another $5,000.
That could happen.
Fuck.
You know what? That's just great. Look, you sold weed, you fucking monster.
Pot needles.
How
How
dare you?
dare you?
Kids are gonna start listening to swing music if they listen to Death Weed.
Thwolf says dogs are better at finding bodies.
Yes,
The
that's
amateur
true. That's very true.
Because they want to eat them.
Look, I'm good. Look, I have a big nose. I'm good at finding weebs. I'm really good at conventions. I can smell weebs for miles.
Yeah, you found
So can everybody else.
The amateur iconoclast says another doom suppository for Lofty. Tell him about forensic science. Oh yeah, forensic science is a joke. Complete and utter fucking
Wow.
joke.
Is it?
Yes, court forensic science is an absolute catastrophe.
So Lofty, the FBI had a hair analysis unit. They had to admit, like, yeah, we were kind of just making shit up.
No,
But that makes
really?
all the movies that I watched bullshit.
right.
Yes.
Yeah, they
damn.
are.
That's that.
I don't
That
want
means
to know
people go to
propaganda,
prison because of that
jackass.
shit.
I don't want to know any of this.
Forensic science is literally like the better expert. It doesn't matter
Damn
what
it.
the truth is. It's
No.
who the jury believes is the better expert.
So it's like astrology.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's
Well,
it's
oh,
astrology.
God.
Even
Is
worse, Lofty. It's
the
astrology.
favorite is-
no.
Ballistic.
when you're
Astrology
trained-
backed by the U.S. government.
It's astrology. When you're trained in-house by the people you work with, and that's it.
Ugh.
It's all like learning on the job.
Look, Lofty, let me break your mind here.
Uh-oh.
If they recover a bullet from a gun fired and they do the ballistics test and they're like,
Yeah.
you know, in a show, they're like, oh, the rifling on this bullet, like the barrel left a unique signature. That's not
Wow.
true.
What?
That's not true at all.
What?
Yeah, because you know what?
Why
like,
would it be true?
I don't
Technology exists.
Lofty, do you know that like all of the
I
barrels
don't.
on a SIG 516 are the exact same?
Who knows this?
Anybody who has a brain who thinks, you know, it would be more efficient for Sig Sauer when they're making a rifled barrel is to make the same bit goes through the barrel every time, right? Like, you know that.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know
So
what?
why
You know
would
how-
the markings be different?
You're right. Here's an interesting thing.
So the guy in the Murdaugh trial described the ballistics guy. He's like, yeah, like it's kind of like you look at it and you make like a determination on whether or not it looks the same as the other one. He basically said it's art criticism,
Wow.
because that's how fucking fake it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane.
So how long do you think until they don't use it as much?
Lofty's
For-
gonna bomb a police station tomorrow morning after what we talked about.
No, they're
I
going
know.
to invent
Gotta
a mind reading
firebomb
machine
something.
that doesn't work, and that's when they'll give up on all this evidence.
I'm gonna napalm my local. I'm kidding.
No, they're gonna invent a mind reading machine and convince a jury that it does work. That's the worst part.
Yes.
Yes.
And they'll never give up on it. They'll actually
No.
just win every time. They'll be like, oh, no, we found out
That'll
he
be
raped.
fucking great.
He raped him because he remembered it and he masturbated.
Damn.
Kayla M says, sorry to be serious. What can I do when someone won't stop being drunk and abusive and wants you to work 40 hours and take care of the kids and do all the housework?
Damn.
Leave
What you do is you find some old antifreeze. You start putting it in his drinks.
Jesus Christ.
I mean,
It's
I'm
not
just
legal
saying.
advice. It
The
might
other
be
thing,
medical
Kayla, too,
advice.
is we live in an accident-prone world. I'm just saying shit happens to drunk people.
Maybe I'm crazy, but I don't
Hopefully, you have some stairs in
a
your house. You better
woman-
be careful. You don't want somebody to fall down those and break their neck.
I don't think a woman should be working 40 and taking care of the kids. That sounds like a ridiculous situation. I don't know.
It's tough. You know what? Here's what I'll say. I'm a huge marriage proponent. I know Drax isn't. That's fine. But I will say this. There are plenty of times where marriage just isn't the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And people need to go.
And real
Like-
Same with kids, Nick. Like certain people,
Yeah.
just like people say, these people shouldn't have kids. These people shouldn't be married either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Like
That's
it's
the
at
moment.
some point, and like sometimes that happens deep into a relationship, and other times it just was never right. But people change. And there are times like
I
if someone
agree.
doesn't want to change back and someone doesn't want to go on, like you just leave.
What's this situation where
You know what
states-
also
Hold on, Lofty.
happens is
Can I
women.
a real answer though? Kayla, this is a real answer. Like, I don't know what abusive means to you, but if you really are in an abusive relationship and you feel like you need to get out, there are groups like you could probably in your area, you could probably call them right now.
Especially for women. There's a shitload
Yes,
for
well,
women.
I'm just saying, depending on where you live, they
Yeah.
would be thrilled to talk to you right now. And if it really is dangerous, they would help you. They would protect you. They will get you out of there. So if it really is bad, there are, if you gotta go. So
yeah,
I mean, but if it's bad, then get out.
You know what? You should also call the Guinness Corporation because you're the first woman that's ever worked for 40 hours. I think you mean thinking about work a lot, and you've never punched a clock in your fucking life. Oh, what do you do? A woman that works 40 hours? I'd call Aesop because this is a fable. Wow. What did you slide down a dinosaur when you punched out for the night of your 40 hours? Shit.
Oh my god, that's
Jacob reads. Jacob Reed says, Nicholas, you kind of red pilled me with your cop rant the other day. I want to support them, but I've seen too much. We need massive reforms. Look, I don't hate cops, but they will never get support from me. And I don't know, Phoenix Ammunition, who I'll pull up their tweet when we get over on Rumble.
Beautiful.
They had some cop organization like, will you donate ammunition to our training event? And they had a response from it. It was fucking beautiful.
Dude, Destiny just donated $10K to the Atlanta Police Department.
What a fact!
Oh my god!
Every one of them fucks his wife.
I can hear all the. No,
they will.
Fine with this. I can hear the ring from here.
Cops,
Vosh,
by the way,
I can hear Vosh ring from here.
I know.
That's the beauty of it.
I don't know.
I hope he did it just to fucking piss off BreadTube.
He did it to piss off BreadTube. It's exactly why he did it.
Actual fandom's probably crying about it now as well.
It is not worth 10
maybe
grand.
they could pay for their funerals now. Look, we have more flowers for our funerals where we dress up in our gay uniforms and put on our manliness medallions and shoot guns in the air. Oh, God. Everyone pull over. Here comes another dead cop.
Oh, Jesus. Bad Dragonite.
Dreams, Dick.
Dick is wild.
Howdy, fellow red pillars, MAGA, who here would like to partake in illicit substances and commit tax fraud? Glowing? What do you mean? Drop Barracuda. I was homeschooled for a bit, and my teacher was a total MILF. She was a neighbor. Alfarius Omicron. Andrew Coffey IV, a guy in my old town, wicked a SWAT team in a no-knock who killed his girlfriend and was acquitted of murder and 3 counts of attempted first-degree murder.
Yep.
God damn.
Oh, yeah, he banged it out, the SWAT team. He got charged with, being a felon in possession. But yeah, he beat everything else.
Bad Dragonite. Cops are like YouTube girls, view dogs as useful tools. Kyan Rennell. Sean, my friend, looking rotund, nice winter coat. Jim James, never back the blue. The blue line is a gang emblem. Sentient Guillotine, should we be concerned about Christian nationalists? No, and I'll show you why. We're going to look at the frail arms of Nick Fuentes in just a little bit.
Milo is the Christian nationalist guy, but yeah.
Bad Dragonite says cops should be armed because everyone should be. Christian Wolf, how would you feel about a privatized police force of some kind? I was all fuck the police, but after working as a bouncer, I feel like society needs some kind of apparatus to deal with violent people.
Were you working at a gay bar?
Private police are Pinkertons, and
look, I want to be Raz in the Chaz. I want to be the guy who runs the fucking chat. That guy was a bro out of his mind. He came up with a protection racket in one day. Immediately, he's like,
and all those commies fell for it.
What?
Do you remember
Chaz?
Yeah, out in Seattle.
They speed ran an authoritarian police state, and they ended up air conditioning a car full of black kids at the end.
Fucking funny. They're like, this guy shows up, Lofty, the first day of the rifle. He starts showing up in every business, and he's like, by the way, I run the protection thing around here, so we're gonna need 10% of your revenue.
What?
He collects taxes.
How did you not hear about this?
It's the greatest
speed ran.
I don't know what
speed ran government. They speed ran being the police, and by the end of it, they shot a couple of black kids in a car, and that was the end of Chaz.
That guy was the most American guy in history.
Yeah, you're right. No.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the Pinkertons and the fucking Magic the Gathering situation?
Yeah, I did.
By the way, Nick, can you make me full screen?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
just a
man.
second.
Okay.
Here we go. I didn't know
The
we could
only
do
way
that.
you greet a Pinkerton is with a fucking shotgun at your door. Okay, that's how you
Wait.
greet Pinkertons.
Preach.
Wow.
The Pinkertons
What?
can get fucked. I cannot
How is
believe
it possible
that
that Wizards of the
limp-wristed-
Coast can send a Pinkerton unit to the fucking door of a guy's house?
Because
Dude.
legally they can. It's whether you're not a fucking cuck that you'll let that guy in your door.
the dude let these weirdos into his house.
Yes.
Like
No.
those guys show up at your house, you just go fuck off and close the door.
Mhm.
Like that's your answer. Oh, we'll call the cops.
Well, hold on.
Fuck off. Close the door.
I'll wait till we're on Rumble, then I'll show you how you actually meet a Pinkerton at the door. But
Dorotheo
we'll wait.
says libertarianism is fine except corporate bootlicking. Libertarians aren't corporate
Kill yourself.
bootlegs. There you go. Yeah, that works too.
Well,
The whole-
they'll-
the whole
they'll
Iola book
argue-
says-
okay.
Here, I got to get through these so we can get
Yeah,
off
go
this
ahead.
fucking platform. Whole Iola book says option killing of Justine Demond Rutzik by cop. Yep, that was Muhammad Noor.
Yes.
Felzu says, why are we still on YouTube, Nick? Get on Rumble. Bad Dragon, I don't know how Republicans keep losing. Also, cops are always flawlessly great, and anime and video games should be banned. Mav says,
Ew.
one year of sobriety, May 5th. I actually relapsed hard after over 26 years of
Ooh.
sobriety. Previously, addiction is no joke. Thankful to have been given a second chance. Have a great weekend. Cheers, brother. I'm going to
Damn.
cheers it with rum.
Well, I'll do it with a non-alcoholic drink. Good luck to you, brother, and
no, he's
good luck
been
on the
doing
road
great.
ahead.
He sends me updates and he's doing fucking
Nice.
fantastic. So like I remember when he said
recovery's hard.
he sent me a message when he was going into recovery on this 1 year, and he sent me updates all the time. Keep going,
Nice.
brother. Keep it.
can
Tortheo
do it.
says Nick making up a story after pissing on the floor.
Yeah, you did it.
Kiernoth says, New York, look, I needed a cover. Blame some fucking kid. New York City passed a law that made it illegal to discriminate against fat asses now. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh my
Jake-
God, I'm going to New York City. again.
Jacob Reed says,
Fuck.
Dick looks like Gallagher, the Smashing Watermelons one. Almond John 1 says, in middle school, when the Chappelle show, R. Kelly sketch came out, I went around peeing on the vending machine buttons at my apartment complex.
Yep.
Jesus Davila gifted a sub a membership. Thank you. Drop Barracuda says, fun fact, Pinkerton started Wells Fargo. Ian Max says, national service for anyone from a single parent home. Problems fixed. Holy shit. No, thank you.
Christ.
With that, we're getting off YouTube right now, going to
Hey.
Base Rumble. We'll see you guys in 20 seconds. The link is in the
YouTube.
description.
I
Leave a
love you.
like on YouTube because they're Jews and they hate me. But make sure you follow us over to Rumble, or if not, you are gayer than Lofty. See you guys there.
No,
Peace.
YouTube, follow me.
Peace.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen,